Hey there! Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Stateside Podcast. This episode is brought to you by nobody, because we don't have any sponsors. I wish we did, and we're looking for them. So if you are a sponsor and you don't suck, go ahead and drop us a line, and we can talk. Tonight's guests are Steve Cook and Tony Cornella of a band called The Goddamned Animals. Man, these guys rule. Go check them out. They're from Portland, hometown heroes. We've all played in bands together. Tony was a bass player of the Days to Nights, the band I used to drum in. This was a really, really cool episode, and we kind of, we cover it all. We talk about farts, we talk about our dicks, as usual. But we also get a little deep, and we talk politics, we talk Trump, we talk news of the day, and I think you'll really enjoy it. It was a little bit different of an episode for us, because we do talk about some actual serious stuff for once. Hey, what do you know? But anyway, sit back and relax, crack open a beer, have a cup of coffee, do whatever makes you happy, and enjoy. Thanks for checking it out. Bye.
So you get some spaceship sounds.
Sure. I can do it. We have the technology.
Shut up, Tony.
Sorry. I'm not going to do
Yeah, they're right in the mic. All right. Welcome to the Stateside Podcast. My name is James. That's Neil Engel.
Hello.
And your trusted producer, Andrew Carrion. Today, we have a couple special fellas in the room. We got Stephen Cook and Tony Cornella.
Hey, thanks for having us.
They are dear, sweet friends of mine. We've all been in bands with each other. I think Tony has been in who knows how many bands at this point. At least 5, 6, 7, 10, I don't know.
I lose count.
Yeah, but Tony was the bass player of the Days and Nights. And Steve was actually the original singer of the band before it was called the Days. Sorry, there's a corgi in the room.
He's so adorable, though.
adorable.
When he growls like that, you just have to pet him. That's all that means.
Oh, okay.
Yep. He
Just
wants
show him some love.
He just wants to be loved. So.
That goes for me too, by the way.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Steve was the original singer in the band when it was called Mirrors back in the day. And we're stoked to have you guys on. Hi.
Pumped to be here.
Hey.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
You brought tequila.
Yeah, we have some tequila in the room.
It's a big-ass bottle of
Very
tequila.
large bottle of
Steve.
tequila.
What size is that?
It's a half, right?
They don't really put it on the market. I don't know. It's a special size for me.
That's the Stephen Cook size.
Yeah, he had
That's
like
the
a
size that is.
Ghostbusters backpack with it. It's huge.
It's a half gallon. I
It's
mean,
like a Camelback.
There's what?
It's a half,
Five
right?
of us. There's 5 of us plus a dog. You need at least a half.
What
gallon
kind is
of
it?
Tequila.
Altos?
Olmeca Altos. It's actually really great.
It's good tequila.
Mid-range, sweet drink.
No lime.
No lime.
It's a sipping.
Yeah.
Sipping.
I've got
tequila.
lime
Yeah.
concentrate juice if we want to do that. And
It's gonna taste
Is
Is
that
pretty sure
like
I
a
have
how
salt,
dare you
too.
kind of thing, Steve?
I don't know.
Or is that good?
I'm sorry, I missed.
Oh, is that like a how dare you add lime juice to that tequila, or is that good?
It makes me want to throw up in my mouth a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So it's
Some people like lime. I thought
No,
it
no.
offered.
We'll bring you some Cuervo.
I'm just
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
I've been at it for a while.
Yeah.
You seem to have a very sophisticated palate, for sure.
Something
very
like that,
sophisticated. I've known Steve for a while. He's not sophisticated.
I mean, it takes dedication to buy a whole half gallon of it, so it must be good.
Yeah, he showed up prepared.
Yeah.
It's definitely the first guest to show up with a half gallon of tequila. So.
Let's make that a trend. Huh?
Sized bucket of noodles.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, he's got some Asian peanut noodle thing over here.
Yeah,
And I'm not sharing, but
And
the
he's not
tequila is. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's fine.
Except with this corgi, I think he's gonna end up.
He's a recovering alcoholic, like I said.
Yeah.
Aren't
So
we
you can
all?
have the noodles,
Yeah.
but not the tequila.
He'll
the
he'll
corgi's
request
so
that they're
cute.
soaked in the tequila. Though.
Yeah.
One more time with the corgi name, Neil?
Mosby.
Mosby. That's right. I
Mosby,
can never
Mosby.
remember.
I mean, the shape alone is worth the trip. Really.
I want to dress him up like a butler for
agree.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Mosby
what?
the butler.
A butler?
Yeah, a butler.
Oh, that's the best thing you've
It
ever
was like
heard.
you know how they make those dog costumes but like they look like either they're like a hunter, they have like arms coming out the side, so when you look at the dog from a front view, it looks like a little person running around. They make one with like a tray,
I love that.
and tray with drinks on the back.
Yes.
And so I want him to like.
Yes.
It's got a little
That's
tie.
amazing.
Yeah.
I also think just a little seam in the middle, and he might look like two people playing a corgi.
Yes.
Oh God, I just like how low to the ground they are,
Oh yeah, I
and
love
ineffectual their little movements are.
I know.
Makes them good hunters.
Yes.
Not at all.
Yep.
Oh, you are so adorable, aren't you?
No, they're herding dogs, aren't they? Isn't that
Yeah,
what
I
they
think
are?
so.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds right. Some English horseshit.
It sounds
Yeah, I
Scottish
just feel
or
like I
Irish.
wouldn't let
Yeah.
this dog tell me where to go.
Clearly.
Some
but-
white people bullshit.
There's a purpose to it.
Hey, Andrew, how was the show?
It was really good, man.
Uh,
Really good turnout.
Sorry I didn't make it.
Oh, no worries.
This is awkward. Now we're on microphone, and I'm telling you, I didn't make it. Woo.
It's all good. I had a lot of homies come out.
Good, man.
No real homies.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. We need to get those sound effects over there, bro.
We can.
I think we all need headphones for it. Otherwise, I just hear it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I keep telling him to do the like.
He's over there amusing himself with
Beep,
sound
beep, beep,
effects the whole
beep, beep,
time.
beep,
Oh,
beep,
yeah,
like
the
those.
air horn.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was thinking a fart noise.
Or a
but
fart
either
noise.
way,
Radio DJ kind of bullshit.
yeah. Maybe
Wah,
after
wah,
everything I
wah.
say,
Yeah.
You know what?
somebody's mom complaining about something or a fart noise.
Yeah.
Everything I say.
Somebody's mom.
That's a thing, right?
Well, I have the whole Warner and BBC sound library, so we could hook something up. Probably.
Boom.
Oh,
Yeah,
we should do
yes.
that.
We
We
can do
got
all
to get
kinds of
headphones
sounds.
up in this bitch.
Yeah,
Also,
or just
sorry
a
I
really
said
loud
boom.
PA for fun.
Yeah, we're still learning as we go, as you guys can tell.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Anyway, Andrew, I'm glad it went well. Sorry I wasn't there.
Oh, it's cool. It's a good turnout.
Good.
Cool
Nice.
venue.
Awesome.
But that is at the no,
Yeah,
correct?
no,
Yeah.
It could sound better, but it's a cool space.
It could sound better, you know.
I'm on it.
See what I mean?
feel like,
Sound
but the
effect
no
right there.
The no is known for like it's a punk show. People don't expect
Yeah.
the sound to be amazing.
Right.
So play on the floor.
That's at the new
shit.
spot, right?
Yeah. I haven't
Where's-
been. I haven't been
to the
actually.
new spot yet.
Dude, one of my favorite shows at the Crystal Ballroom was when it wasn't Death from Above. Who the fuck? Oh, Block Party. Block Party played like a small, like a secret show kind of thing. And anyway, they played on the floor, and it was fucking awesome. I mean,
That sounds
yeah,
amazing.
dude. It was the best thing ever. There was like 1,200 people there, but they were all just crowded around the band, and everyone just fucking shoving around. It was so much fun.
Those are the best kinds of shows.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
the best.
actually the last time we played the no right before it shut down, and we ended up playing on the floor. But typically, that's what we like to do, honestly.
Yeah. Well, especially you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's more. I don't know.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
more
like
fun that way.
Lightning Bolt. It's like Lightning
Exactly.
Bolt has only done that, and that's
That's
whole.
only done that.
That's their whole show.
It's
It's,
a-
awesome.
I don't want to be
kind
on a
of a
stage
different
that's
culture
3 feet,
that-
5 feet tall.
Yeah.
I think that's definite. That's
Rock
the
and roll
worst,
pizza.
when
Yep,
you're up
remember
too
that.
high
Yeah.
for no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, well, especially a band like you guys.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be in each other's ball sacks. What?
We are.
Sorry.
We are, to be fair. I mean,
Thanks for the laugh, Andrew. Get me out of that one.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of your band, Tony and Steve both play in a band called Goddamned Animals. Shut up, Corky. Goddamned Animals. Andrew just pulled it up here for the listeners at home. Check them out on Instagram. They just released a record over the summer, and they also have it available on vinyl, which, by the way, guys, that turned out fucking rad.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I
saw it the other night over at Tony's house.
I bought. Did I show you how to frame?
Nuh-uh.
I framed the whole thing. So I took.
Since last I saw you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I did
okay.
it
Cool.
2 days ago.
Nice.
Yeah, I
That's fucking awesome.
the whole time I was doing it, I was like, God, I wish we would have done this like neon line.
The cover or the actual
Basically, I took
vinyl
2
part?
sleeves, 2 inserts. Let's see, the sleeve that the vinyl goes into and the vinyl. So there's basically 6 panels in a like poster size frame.
Awesome.
So it's basically sleeve, vinyl.
Oh, perfect.
What's it?
That's
Insert,
fucking rad.
insert. So front and back. I just
Cool.
flipped them.
Sweet.
and I know a lot of you at home have the album, and if you buy 3 more and the frames, you can kind of do the same thing at
Bam.
Yep.
home. Yeah, Tony will walk you through it.
Tony will walk
Show
you
the whole technique. No, it's honestly I did it.
How
'cause
funny
it's
would that
something
be if Tony did like a YouTube video? You know, like
This is how
occasionally
you
Tony will
frame
do like bass
vinyl.
tutorials, Yeah, it'll be like, this is how you frame our record.
No,
Craft-
it's just
but
something
crafting
I'm just
with
proud of,
Tony.
you know?
In some way that only works for our record.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only way.
No, but honestly, it turned out rad.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Um,
How many guys copies did you guys do? Not a lot, right?
550 of the vinyl.
That's actually more than I thought you would.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's more than we thought we would.
Yeah.
What's
What's the turnaround time after you put in the order for vinyl?
Oh my
Wasn't
God,
that
it's a
long?
nightmare.
It's a long
No,
time.
Though,
It
wasn't it?
was long.
Was it
No,
long?
it's a
It was.
long
It's
time.
like
Couple
I-
months,
it was
right?
2 months,
Yep.
2 or 3
Really?
months, something
Yeah.
like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, and then you multiply that by a big band. Like I remember hearing Maynard from Tool talk about that. I mean, obviously it's Tool, so they have millions to order, but still,
Yeah.
he's like you. have to
One of
plan
our
this
main
way-
competitors
One-
in the
yeah.
vinyl industry.
Clearly, we're coming for you.
Yeah, goddamn animals and Tool.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a
pretty close.
show.
Yeah.
Floor
That
show.
would be a good show. I would go to that show.
If you look at Billboard's top 100 vinyl records of 2017, I think it is Tool and Goddamn
it's
Animals.
Tool,
and
God,
they
yeah.
keep fluctuating
Like back
between
and forth.
first
yeah,
and second.
Taylor Swift, goddamn animals.
Yeah.
Um,
Wouldn't you love
Well,
to
she-
own a Taylor Swift vinyl record?
yeah,
I
and
mean,
just like
Signed
does
by
that
goddamn
exist?
animals.
'Cause I will
oh,
buy
I'm
that.
sure it exists, but you have to
Yeah.
put it like in the mix of other really good records and like
Yeah.
thumb through it like you're a cool guy with all your friends, like the Led Zeppelin and the Beatles and like all this good shit and Taylor Swift, and just keep going. Like,
Right,
You don't
yeah.
stop.
It's like, don't stop for that
Stephen
one.
Curtis Chapman.
Stephen Curtis Chapman, Michael W. Smith, and Led Zeppelin. Yeah. So anyway, talk about the band a little bit. One of you guys. How many people are in the band? When did you guys start? Where can people find you?
Okay.
You got any shows coming up?
Okay, so
More stuff.
there's 4 of us in the band. It's 1 guitar, 1 bass, 1 drummer, and a vocalist.
Well, 5 with Ray
5.
Ray.
We got Ray. Yeah. We got.
So
we
Ray
got
Ray
a-
does our lights, and it's no joke.
That is key.
Right.
That's definitely
It's like
key to our
what
live
was that,
show.
Steve, was that metal band back in the day? Himza? Do you remember?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
With their,
Himza.
with their,
Yeah.
their
That light
dead
guy?
cabs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy was fucking awesome.
Didn't
like,
we played a show at El Corzo?
Oh no!
And that dude was
Sorry,
there.
it was the singer of Himza that would tour with Botch.
Botch.
That's
Yes,
what it
I was
was.
gonna say
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry, yep.
Yeah,
That's
he
why
was
I
out of
said
control.
Himza.
It's awesome.
He would tour with Botch as like another band member because he was just so involved in doing lights.
Yeah.
And they'd actually have him on stage.
Yeah. So
I
that, I
always
mean,
thought that was
that's
so
that's
fucking
Ray
cool.
Ray for us. Like she's
Dude,
sitting
awesome.
next to Scott on stage, running the lights. I mean,
Brilliant.
makes us look better. She
Well,
does
yeah,
a
you guys
hell
are
of a
such
job.
a fun fucking band. Like when I saw you guys at that warehouse party, Steve, with the thing that Scott did, or wherever
Oh,
the hell
yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
It was a blast, and that's like it's a
Pretty much one of the coolest shows I've ever been to.
We're
It's like
talking about
antique
that.
cars
Yeah.
and like Jesus Christ.
Well,
go
yeah,
ahead.
it was all, and it was all on the floor, and everybody got a chance to participate in one way or another, and that was kind of a cool. It's a fun dynamic.
Yeah, there's a picture of it.
Dude, what was that place?
that shit.
Why were there
You
like
can see my buddy
muscle
Jules
cars
Mohawk
parked in there? And what was that?
right there.
It just kind of worked out. We know of the space because one of the guys that
Lee.
owns it or rents it or
Lee
whatever.
Lee rents it out, right?
Sorry to
so.
call you out for renting, Lee.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, he's photographer, visual
Videographer,
artist,
yeah.
and that he works out of that space. And when we got there, they had a couple classic cars, and then Scott brought his, and we're like, "What if we line the stage with these?" And
Oh, okay. Because I
it
remember
ended up being the reason that we're world famous at this point.
probably
Yeah.
at this point.
Household name.
Yeah, I remember walking into the party show or whatever it was. And I instantly felt like one of the coolest people in the world. There's like awesome tattooed people everywhere, and like a kegerator, and you had your own fucking bartender. And it was in the middle of some warehouse in Selwood.
We just want to have a good punk rock party, man.
Yeah.
It's fun as shit, man.
Yeah.
Our buddies got really drunk. Northcote got silly
Oh,
drunk
everybody's
that
drunk.
night.
Yeah. I think I
Did you see
stayed
Larry Carlson that night?
I did.
vague,
Yeah.
for a second.
Larry, if
He
you're
was
listening,
killing it.
you
He
went-
was
you went
cutting a
for it,
rug
man.
afterwards.
Yeah, he was, that's
dancing.
right.
Oh, yeah, he was dancing.
Yeah, then
out.
you guys had a
After
fucking
the DJ
DJ
came
after
out.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah, we thought
pretty-
it'd be cool to do like a party, you know?
yeah, an actual party.
Yeah.
So, any shows coming up? Any other good stuff?
This is actually kind of a funny thing. We ended up not really playing, for a couple months after the CD or not a CD, a vinyl release.
The vinyl release.
And now we got back together and we started writing a bunch of things, and we're kind of thinking it'd be pretty great to have our next show be our next record release party. So we're looking into that.
I
No,
can't
but-
tell if you're kidding.
No, we were.
It's
we
my
were
dry
messing
You're
with
British
so
sense of
good at,
humor.
like-
He's super dry. Yeah.
I was like nodding my head with you, like, oh,
yeah.
You're going
No,
in
we
for
were
another
messing
record.
around with that. No, we have a show November 19th at Green Noise. Yes,
Yeah.
Green Noise Records.
Cool.
Mhm.
That's here in town.
Yeah, it's here in town. Where's that off? Alberta, I believe. Lower
Nice.
Alberta.
It could be.
Actually,
There is a chance.
But should be a good little floor punk rock show.
Nice. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, what's like the plan for the band? Are you guys just hoping for the best and just having fun with it? I mean, there's no.
Honestly, yeah.
I think all of us have been doing it for long enough, so I
Yeah.
didn't mean to cut
No, it's
you off.
good. Go for it, man.
I think all of
We've
us have
got
been doing
kids
it for long enough, with very little success.
Yep.
I mean, where it's just a thing. You start to realize, like, okay, I mean, at least for me, I guess I can only speak from my own personal experience.
for
But
yourself.
I've been in bands that we've done our DIY tours, and we've kind of run ourselves through that
Yeah.
whole experience. And at this point, it's just I've
Dude, and
quit, and I've thought I
done it.
never want to play music again.
Right.
Fuck this, it's the worst. And what you keep realizing is like, no, you kind of need to do this. I think if you're kind of like
Right.
attached to, or if it's part of
Yeah.
how you release energy, or
Different
whatever you want to,
identity.
whatever hippie shit you want to call it, it makes a difference in your life. And
Yeah.
so yeah, now it is just like we just want to do something that we can be very proud of, and yeah, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I
Right.
feel the same. I mean, we're all 30 plus, and
I know.
we all have jobs. We got bills to pay.
The thought of getting in a smelly van with a bunch
Yeah,
of
I mean,
guys and
it's not even that, like,
disappearing for 2.
I like going home
Can you imagine
to the
doing
house
what
I
you
just
did in
bought.
Clarity,
You know,
Steve?
it's awesome.
Can you imagine?
It'd be unimaginable.
It's
and
unimaginable.
in fact,
You have
when
two-
I quit, I was like, "Fuck this! Never want to fucking do music again." And now I'm like,
For a little
Come on,
context,
guys.
Steve
Yeah.
Steve was in a band called Clarity Process back in the day. They're on Rise. If you don't know who they are, you fucking suck. No. But in all honesty, they had a good run, and I remember at the time it was so exciting. There was so much hype behind the band, so much buzz. You guys toured your asses off. I mean, you really, really worked hard. You walked the walk.
"Yeah, we're
It was-
idiots."
Yeah, and you guys were a bunch of goddamn pirates. I mean, Jeff Miller was like,
now you're just a bunch of goddamn animals. That's all.
There
Right.
you go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Anyway,
But
but no.
yeah, Clarity did some really great stuff, and I mean, it was awesome, especially during that time. It was funny. I remember telling Josh Northgate that like I always thought you guys. It's not that you sounded like Deftones, but I always thought you guys could have been the next Deftones as far as like that kind of hype and like that controllability of like you're not going to be a huge label band, but you guys had such a strong scene, and it was so dangerous. Like you guys always felt like you were just going to fall off this cliff at any point, but you never did. You always kept it together. It was just chaos. There was the most chaotic shows ever. It was fucking.
Wonder if that
something
was
to
like
see.
an outgrowth of our like inner turmoil. I feel like none of us were
Yeah.
really wanting to go in the same
Yeah.
direction. We were
Right.
like all pulling.
I mean, that's
yeah.
yeah. Crummett was in the band, and he had his own like career going on. Josh had his own thing. Everyone was just pulling from different. But it was also an age thing, a punk rock ethic. I don't know. You guys were a very dangerous, chaotic, goddamn band.
we were stupid idiots.
Stupid idiots. It was like at any point you'd break up. At any point someone was gonna get in a fight, or like you wouldn't show up. Like I don't know. It was a good time to see though.
I think that's like the fun, that's that element of music, particularly if you're doing it at that age. It's like, yeah, fuck it, let's just get weird and
Let's just go
wild
for it.
and yeah.
We're gonna live forever.
And so yeah,
Right?
I mean,
know.
we could have done it in a smarter way and done like small tours and expand as you go. And we were just like, no, let's just do a 3-month country tour.
Right. For
Not country tour. I'm not Stephen Curtis Chapman. But
A U.S.
Let's do a
tour.
3-month
Yeah.
country tour. Everyone's like, "Well, Clarity changed. Is Steve playing a banjo now?" But you guys were also at Clarity was signed to Rise at a time where Rise was sort of a smaller label, and like it was such an independent thing back then. And now look at what they just signed At the Drive-In and Goldfinger and fucking Bouncing Souls,
Five Finger Death
Go
Punch
on.
too. Like
just a ton of big bands.
I
bunch
like
of
to
bigger
think of
bands.
us as a band that didn't make Rise what it is today.
A band that contributed nothing to
nothing.
the label
Literally
success.
contributed nothing.
We drained them of their resources, and we made Craig almost sell the company. So,
That's what you did.
I feel like that was our strong suit. We were good at bringing everybody to their lowest point.
well, with the new band, you guys are all on your own. It's not like you have a label, I don't
No.
think, right?
No, just
No
us.
label,
No.
no management, no nothing.
But we're looking
No.
if there's somebody listening.
Are you actually?
No, I don't know.
That's always the talk. Me and Neil and I, not me and Neil. It's Neil and I is the proper grammar.
There you go.
We always talk about like how, technology and, doing music in 2017 is an interesting thing. And how does a producer today set himself apart from a producer back in the 60s or just set himself apart from a producer currently? And like what makes you, because anyone can go buy a bunch of microphones and a Pro Tools rig and it's not impossible to just do everything yourself now. And like but the same goes for a band. Like you can literally go do everything yourself now. Really all a label is at the end of the day is a bank, and they give you a loan and they open some doors for you and they give you access to some stuff. But technically speaking, you can do all of that yourself. And is that something that you want to continue to do? Is it more fun doing it yourself, or do you want, would you want someone booking tours for you, and do you want that?
Honestly, I don't really know.
If a
I
big
had
band,
fun touring, honestly, it was fun, but at
is
the
fun.
same time, I got really homesick. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd have to do it again, honestly.
You're just having fun with it now. It sounds like.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's
Like
what Steve was
at this
saying,
point
too.
is that
it's a thing you need to do.
I
It's
need to
fun,
do
you need
this
it.
to release energy, this negative energy,
Yep.
just to make myself healthy.
Right.
It's
Because
more fun
masturbation
now.
isn't cutting it anymore.
Right, clearly.
Yeah, it's
Clearly
not.
it's not cutting it. But no, I seriously, like now it's just like I write
Cathartic.
music and go play shows because that's what I like to do,
That was always so hard for me
right?
because I just turned into this freakazoid. Like, I don't know. I every time I was in a band, I just get like, oh, this is what I'm doing now. And we have to pursue greatness, and then we start having band meetings, and
Yeah, see, like
I think that's
It's hard.
think that living in this day and age, it's kind of a liberating and cool thing for musicians, because you can kind of do it without a label, and then whatever happens. There's
Yeah.
obviously a benefit to being picked up by a label, but I think the big benefit to not really needing that is you get more honest and realistic representations of what you're trying to do.
'Cause
And if
it's
you're
just
talking
you.
about like production too, it's the same thing. like there's so many albums that technically sound like shit, but they capture the energy of that band. It's
Right. Right.
like I remember being a kid, that 4 Minute Mile Get Up Kids record. It's the
Yeah.
worst sounding record ever.
Right.
But it perfectly captured everything about that moment in time and like what you're feeling at that age, and
Yeah.
all these other things. Now I think there's a real opportunity to expand upon that, or like cool, because everyone's kind of on a level playing field.
I know.
Or a more level playing field, I guess.
It's an interesting thing. It's like it's exciting, and there's no reason to bitch or complain today. It's literally I acknowledge that there's horrible things going on in the world, and it's Trump is in office and things are crazy.
Right.
But today is the best time to be alive ever. That's not even a debate. It just is. It's the best time to be alive right now. And like, look, if you want to go start a thing, whether it's you want to make a movie with your buddies, you want to write a book, or you want to start a band, be a producer, start a company, you can go do that. You don't need to wait for fucking nobody. But it also means that you have to do it.
Well, right. And it also kind of floods the market too. So then you have you have a lot more to fish through.
Now everyone's an expert.
But yeah,
everyone has an opinion.
But if you're doing it for the sake of writing or creating or whatever you want to call it itself, like, that's pretty great. You're going to have a lot more music that's meaningful out there, or, whatever your artistic endeavor and platform.
No, I agree.
I think that's very cool. It is a bummer because I think it's harder. I'm not sure I'd even say harder. I think it's as hard to make a living at it as it's always been. I mean, it was always hard to make a living at it.
I would agree. I think the only difference now is it's like,
you can be in charge of your own destiny a little bit more.
Yeah, you can.
Mm-hmm.
But
you don't have to have the big guy at the big label paying you big amounts of money.
Right, it's not the 90s. It's not
you don't need to get on
Soundgarden
MSNBC. Now you can just Instagram and YouTube and
swing by, play late night with Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Swing by, play late night. But yeah, I mean, like back in the day, Jesus. I mean, if you got signed by a big label, you'd go and like tell your parents you made it. And see you later, family. Yep. This is it. I hit it big. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because there was a time where even if you were marginally successful, if you were on a label, like, it was a significant milestone. But then like I always wonder about bands that were kind of there during that transition. Like Vox is a band that I'm always like, what the fuck happened there? Because they're incredible. They signed to a major label
forever.
Yeah, and then it's like,
what happened?
I don't know.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, because I wonder if that band, if they were to have stayed in control, and they did the Nine Inch Nails route, they owned everything.
Yeah,
they were in charge, and so then a label came to them on their own terms. I don't know. He would,
you hear those horror stories about records getting shelved.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I mean, it probably still happens, but I mean, it's less of a thing you have to worry about, I feel like. I don't know. I was never in a signed band.
Yeah, like you could probably shop it around somewhere else or I guess,
something. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I guess if the label pays for it, they own it. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't either. But I mean, I've noticed that like less people are scared of that now.
Yeah,
that's just something I've observed. But
well, I guess that's another kind of upside is there are a lot of other markets for it. So maybe now it's not so much that a label's just going to shelve it. They'll just like cut ties so you can shop it around somewhere. I mean, there's like Jimmy World got dropped and then shopped their shit around and blew up. I mean,
right.
I hate to keep referencing late 90s emo bands, but
well, you're in a room with everyone that, I mean, we're all I'm 34. How old do you see?
37.
37?
Yeah. That's why I'm in the heaviest band I've
Tony,
ever
you're
been.
34?
I'm 33 right now. I'll be at 34 next month.
You will be 34. Yeah. Andrew, you're 34, right?
Yeah.
Neil, you're 17?
Yes.
28.
28.
Okay.
Not 30 yet.
Turned 29 in March.
Oh, yeah.
Still,
Yeah, we're all in the same demographic
in March,
as far as music.
In March, that's not
all the stuff that we
mentioning.
grew up with.
So that's way down the road.
Wait a minute.
Oh, that's good.
I still count halves.
Yeah, I'm 28 and a half.
28 and a half.
So,
This
Steve,
many.
Talk about the bar stuff you're doing, because that's wildly crazy to me that you guys went and started a bar, and now I hear you guys are starting another one.
Yeah, it's been a little wild. So yeah, we
I don't know
started
about
a bar,
this.
but-
What is
Yeah.
it?
Well, the first bar, about church.
Oh, that's you?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. Jesus
Out of
Christ.
the fucking loop,
No,
man.
I didn't know
That's
that.
his bar.
Yeah.
Him and his
God
brothers.
damn it.
Or
I made a
brother,
fool
or
of myself
brothers.
there one time.
Anyway.
Fucking
Did I
fool
kick-
of myself.
I did
I was with
too.
Crummett.
I mean,
I was with Crummett.
For the listeners, if you're not a Portlander,
Portland-esque.
Portland-esque,
Yeah.
Whatever.
a Portland person, Google church bar. Is that how you say it?
Church bar.
Church
PDX.
bar Portland, something like that. Church bar PDX. It's it's a rad bar, and it's like one of the cooler fucking places you can go in this town.
Yeah.
They have an old photo booth in there. Yeah, check it out. But anyway, yeah. So I hear you
Thanks,
guys are.
that's too kind.
Yeah. You guys are opening another one.
Yeah. So it's been kind of a weird ride. I wasn't really expecting to get into the industry. Just kind of like started happening, and yeah, now we're expanding on that. And I'm trying to keep it in the same vein. So the bar that's opening this fall, winter, we'll see what happens. It's called Chapel Hill. Yeah, I'll be open over on 44th and Hawthorne.
Oh, cool.
And yeah,
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
yeah, it's a really cool space. And
Whoa,
I'm,
how'd you
I'm
guys get
excited
that
about it.
real estate?
That's the lot that they were breaking ground on not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a
Yep,
new building.
build.
Yeah.
44th and Hawthorne. Wait, is that?
East side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like Bar of the
Southeast.
Gods,
Yeah. Over in
Yeah,
that area.
just west of that.
right?
Is it like
Yeah.
right, just east of like New Seasons? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. After the Hawthorne Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Well, now instead of
rolling in.
departure, we're gonna have to go to fucking church. I had no
Perfect.
idea.
Bam.
Yeah.
Because yeah, we were trying to. I was telling everybody before the podcast. Because yeah, my cousins are here from Iowa. He turns 21 today, so we were looking for places to go. And I thought of departure. I totally forgot about church. We're gonna have to go there, especially
That's
since you're in the room and I had no idea. Now we have to go. We have to.
Right on. Yeah. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's get wild.
So you're opening the new bar with your brother Steve, or Steve? Sorry, hi, you're Steve.
Yes.
Your brother Chris.
No, we actually went different directions with our subsequent endeavors, I guess I should say. So
he's
yeah,
like tattooing and shit these days.
he's tattooing. Yeah,
Yeah. Cool.
he's one of the dudes that opened up
Yeah, you opened a bar, didn't you?
Capital. It's like a grandiose karaoke bar.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Here in town.
Yeah, so it's
Right
and it's
on.
got kind of like all aspects of karaoke that one might enjoy. They've got like private rooms, public room, and
Oh, is that
dude?
in
It's
Northwest?
it's like a KTV.
what the hell's a KTV?
Let me explain what a KTV is. This is
there.
why you call me T-Chine. When I was in China, basically you go to these. You wouldn't per se go to like a bar. There were bars. You can go sit on like any other bar, but the more popular places were KTVs, and it's karaoke television. So what you'd do is you'd go into these places and you would rent a room for you and your friends, and they had a big flat screen TV
Yeah.
in there and a big book of whatever the fuck you wanted
They have
to
that
sing.
here now.
Yeah, yeah.
in Northwest.
It's came here. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that made it over here.
Is that what Chris
That's
is?
exactly
It's
what you
yeah,
just
it's
described.
very similar. It's
Where's
you know,
Chris's?
like what's that box? Voice box. Where you have the private rooms.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
on
that's
TV.
in-
It's a KTV. I
That's
just
KTV.
learned.
KTV.
That's
It's like
literally
Lost
what
in Translation.
yeah,
They go in
all-
that separate room.
Yeah,
Everybody over there I met was like, yeah, let's go to the KTV. You know.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's like really big over there, right?
Yeah, it's huge, huge, huge.
And eating dogs.
No, I did eat donkey over there. Let me just
Donkey?
get that out.
Okay.
Yes,
What does
it was
donkey taste like?
Super gross.
delicious.
Really?
Delicious.
Oh.
I thought it was a euphemism.
I ate one. I ate
I
one.
love a good donkey.
Yeah, it was
So
good.
cute.
I could have eaten rat. Probably could have eaten cat and dog.
Also, a big fan of rats. I think rats get a bad name.
Right.
Rats are adorable.
Depends
You
on
wanna
where you
eat
to
live.
one?
eat or to
It's
hang
horrible
out?
to eat.
To fuck. Dude, what are you guys talking about right now? Talking about fucking these things. Have you ever fucked a rat?
Oh my
Good, I'm good.
God. This
Hard
image
pass.
in my head. I can't.
Whoa,
You walk into a
alright.
room, your buddy's just fucking a rat. That's like jacking yourself off with a rat.
One hand or two?
It's like a pocket vagina, but a rat.
Jesus Christ.
Pretty sure you'd kill
Where's
the
that
rat, right?
tequila? God.
Oh, it's instantly dead. Yes. Anyways, yeah, I didn't know that made it over here. Honestly,
What,
that was
fucking rats?
super popular. Yeah, fucking.
By the way,
rats.
Andrew just pulls up fucking rats movie. Oh, that's from The
Oh,
Departed.
The Departed.
Rat fucking. A Wikipedia page.
Oh my God.
American slang
does it say?
term for political sabotage.
Or dirty tricks.
Really?
Wow.
Perfect time for a fart sound.
I know. You got it, Steve.
Interesting.
Or somebody's mom yelling at
The
him.
more you know.
The more you know. Neil.
Yeah.
So you wrapped up all season.
Yep. That's done. Wrapped up. Not my weekend too.
Fuck yeah. These are two bands that Neil's been mixing.
Huh.
Produced then.
It's been a while, but we've been taking our time trying to make sure it's really fucking rad, and I think we finally got there. So,
Congrats, man.
Yeah,
You
thank you.
worked your ass off.
Just started Sustainer this morning.
Nice.
Nice.
Saw those dudes in your tracking. I'm looking
I
forward to
saw
hear
that Facebook thread and like, what's going on?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
No, but no, they it's gonna be a record you don't recognize, but it's good. It's them just on steroids.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
It's- yeah.
I'm hearing good things.
Sustainer's one of my favorite bands in Portland, man.
Oh yeah.
I fucking
rad.
love those guys.
We
yeah,
should get Duncan in here,
Yeah.
You really should.
right?
Duncan
You
would
really,
kill it.
really should.
I know
Yep.
you've mentioned that, and I
Yeah.
kind of didn't process, but yeah,
he's
he would be a
great.
great guest.
Yeah.
Super great. And he's
Okay.
also in like
Let's do that.
4,000 bands.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's him and I playing Sacrificer.
Nice.
But yeah, I
I
mean,
want Joe Mingus in here too.
you know what, dude? Yeah,
You know
Joe
Joe?
Mangus would be a good guy to
Oh
get
yeah,
into.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know Joe.
Portland's
Uh,
Josh.
I
Freese.
I just think
Pretty
Duncan's
much.
overrated.
you lean
Can
into
we,
the
can,
microphone.
can we start a false beef
To-
with Sustainer?
No, I've known those
like
dudes as long
hip-hop
as I've
shit.
known all of you dudes.
Oh,
Yeah, but no, like I mean, Duncan
I
and
actually
I
think
recorded
Duncan's
with you.
great. He's fine.
Mhm.
In the Heart Attack. I mean,
Yep.
I played in a
Long
band with
time ago.
Chris. We
Yep.
played in Falling Closer together.
He was also in Hard Attack Guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was the
Yep.
vocals for that. So I mean,
Yep.
I've known those dudes. Joe, the bass player,
Yep.
played in American Me with me. And then, I mean, yeah, I
It's
just
a small world.
yeah. Like Portland's music scene's it's weird and almost incestual, I guess.
yeah.
It's big, but it's not big.
It's
Not
like
that big.
yeah.
recycled
big as my dick.
musicians for the types of music that we play.
Right.
It's weird. Everybody likes to play these different offshoots of like hardcore and hard rock and punk rock.
And that's why I'm stoked about the Sustainer record because it's something new.
Yeah, I saw
I'll have to show you
saw
something.
some videos.
Yeah,
saw
those
some
are just the
videos.
videos though.
Yeah.
You haven't heard anything though.
I heard some clips of a Refused cover.
Yeah, that's a cover.
Yeah,
it's turning out awesome. The whole
Yeah.
thing's turning out fucking.
I
rad, though.
imagine it would. Yeah.
They
Did
covered
you-
New Noise, I assume.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Those I love those dudes. They're good people.
Yes,
I've seen
they
some
are.
pictures now. Looks
Yeah.
like they rock
There's
pretty
Duncan
hard.
right
They
there.
rock
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
hard. There were a lot of tank tops.
There's
a
Joe.
lot of sleeveless.
How do you feel about him being blonde, by the way? Now,
I love it.
really?
I think it looks good. Yeah.
Duncan?
Interesting.
Yeah, I
he's
remember
blonde.
coming to practice.
I don't know him well enough to,
I was creeped out.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was really creeped
I
out.
went to practice with him and Taylor and Sacrificer, and he was blonde. I was like,
Oh,
that works. It works. It looks good.
nice work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the interest
That's
of
a good
starting a beef, though, I feel like
No
the blonde
beef.
hair is terrible.
It's terrible.
Fuck you, Duncan.
Fucking
and
turbo.
Fuck your blonde hair.
I love you, BB.
Peace out, goddamn animals.
What?
Drop the
No,
mic.
actually, I've been trying to say it for a while. We played with Sustainer one time, right?
Oh yeah,
I would like to do that again.
yeah.
if you guys
In
are
all
listening.
fairness, they rip it up.
Yeah.
Mm.
Great live band.
Sure, you can make this work.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's almost
Oh,
as though
clip.
they're in the same
Look at
town.
Scott.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's right here.
Any new bands you guys have been jamming to, liking, digging? We were talking
yes,
about the new
actually,
Perfect
yes.
Circle. What you got?
The new Perfect Circle, yeah, it's okay. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not. I'm not super pumped on it. I don't hate it. It's,
Yeah,
it's
My,
listenable.
my roommate loves it, by
Really?
the way.
That new
yeah.
song?
I need to check
Yeah.
it out again because
yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah,
actually, to be fair, but it didn't sound like a
a Perfect Circle
Yeah.
song. Yeah,
which is
exactly.
fine. I mean,
Well,
they
that's
can
why
do what the fuck they
my
want.
roommate likes it because it gets weird. He says.
Yeah.
Andrew?
That's his quote.
What do you think? What's your vote?
What's your opinion?
I'm not a fan, but I'm stoked to hear what comes out of that album.
I
Yeah.
will be at the
So,
show.
I mean, it's awesome to switch it up and do a different direction, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
That's
I'm
kinda
more
how I
judgment,
felt.
honestly. I listened to it last night and I liked it a little more, but
yeah,
still kind of.
I want to hear the rest of the songs.
Andrew, you don't like the new Queens, right? I would assume. No, not,
I'm
not
with
your
you,
cup of tea.
There's a couple tracks
Can't do it.
and some parts.
You tried. Dude, and I know you. I know you're a super, like, positive.
Well, if they want to change directions, that's cool.
Right.
But,
I think me and you agree on
I
that.
kinda
But
like the grounding of a rock sounding record. Like at least like it could be like slower songs and stuff, but I want them to be like a little tough, like in the drums. I want
Yeah,
the drums,
I know what you mean.
always
I know
kinda
what you
have
mean.
that going.
Is
I think
John Theodore still drumming for them?
he is. But you
Mhm.
wouldn't really know it on the record. It's like
well, right.
just
I mean,
super
that's
thin.
a travesty. No, I don't know. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't.
no, 'cause
I
he
don't
really-
hate. I don't hate the record.
Me
I think
neither.
it's like. I think it's
Yeah,
all right. I
that's-
think people
yeah.
are being pretty hard on him.
I would agree.
But
Dude, we
I
got
think
Stefan
it's
in the room here.
difficult.
He was sitting right there where Tony's sitting.
oh,
And
yeah.
I-
Tear it apart. Tear it apart.
Stefan.
dude, he's just...
Dude, Stefan's afraid to live in a house.
Stefan. I think Stefan's super critical about music. But yeah.
We're sitting in the house that he owns, by the way.
Yeah, currently still owns this house.
Yeah,
Yes.
No, but he's just, he's music is...
I think he's
it's right or wrong for him.
hypercritical.
There's no like recognizing that music is art, and one has an opinion on that art.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the record. I mean, we talked about it at my house the other day. I don't expect Queens of Stone Age to do another Songs for the Deaf or Rated R. They're not going to make another regular John song. It's not going to happen.
Well,
why would they do that?
Right,
But
it's impossible.
I don't think it's the same caliber of music that they've been writing. I really like the last record.
Well, Stefan always says it just doesn't. It's not Queens. He's like, that's not a Queens of Stone Age record, and I'm just like, well, you're not in the band, so I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. It's the Queens of Stone. Like that's the band writing the record. It's all those guys. But I mean, there's been a handful of bands this year that have written records or released records that I don't like, honestly.
Yeah.
But that being said, there've been a handful of bands that have fucking blown me away with records this year.
Yeah.
See, Dire Does Murder just put out a record. I know you guys aren't really metal fans.
Really?
Dear Desolations, awesome, heavy deathcore record. 100 Suns, if you guys haven't checked it out, it's Corey from Norma Jean singing. It's Legs from the Every Time I Die drummer. Right. I can't remember the guitar player.
It's a three-piece.
They have like it's kind of like Poison the Well does. Like they have the touring members, but it's like three-piece when they record.
Cool.
It's really good.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
Yeah.
Steve, do you hear Goose, the dude from
Utah?
Yeah. That
he's playing for Every Time I Die now.
Isn't that fucking nuts?
Love it. It's so fucking cool.
I know.
I know
He's
that
such a nice
Tony
guy.
doesn't like the new Every Time I Die record.
See, I do.
I think it's
don't.
pretty good.
It's okay.
Good. Yeah.
So Steve, I think me and you are pretty similar in how we approach music.
I'm glad you brought this up. Are we turning off their mics now?
We're turning off. Andrew,
I'm gonna get a beer.
Code orange, Andrew. Code orange.
Kill his mic. Kill his
mic. So I mean, like, what's your take on the Queen's record, or even like not just what that represents?
I mean,
the
Queen's record to me, and bear in mind, I mean, maybe this, I've not been the biggest Queen's fan ever. I think what they do is pretty great.
Fair enough.
And I think the new record's cool. It's a cool transition for him. I think it's good. But yeah, I don't know that I could speak to it much more than that.
Well, I mean, like, how do you feel about when bands forget Queens
try to reinvent themselves?
Yeah,
I think it's a bold move. Right. I think it's really cool when it works out. Like,
look at Metallica.
Like if you're Radiohead, it's like, yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want. It's awesome.
OK Computer and make the best record of all time.
Yeah,
right. But a lot of bands, it's like, well, you're really taking a risk because people like what you're doing.
Right.
If you skew too far from that, then it's like, well, what is this? And and
I
maybe
agree.
that is a situation where you should consider being like, well, this is a different project.
See, I personally think there's a right and a wrong way to do it. I think if the transition is gradual, it doesn't throw people off.
Right.
Like
it was kind of
and that might be the thing.
Yeah, we're getting older. Our music
was.
tastes are changing. This is how we're going into it, But like, a band is a brand of sorts.
It is.
So and so, if you come out with a complete opposite drastic change, like it's gonna throw people off. You're gonna get new fans. You're gonna lose old fans. Like whatever. Do what you want to do, but it's like there's a right way to do it gradually. I feel like over time. I feel like a lot of people do that and do it really well.
Like religious extremism. If you do it gradually, people accept it a little more.
Exactly. Like L. Ron Hubbard, he started in the 50s. He worked his way up. I mean, it's reasonable. It's a reasonable religion. Look, guys, just hear me out.
Cue the buzzer
Cue
sound.
the
But yeah,
my
this
mic just gets
extreme
faded out.
departure is people are gonna have a hard time accepting that.
Yeah.
particularly if they die.
I don't think it fucking matters what I think, honestly. Like,
That's what I think. Ultimately, that's what I think.
If those guys are happy with the record they
Exactly.
put out,
That's what I think too.
Yep.
then fuck.
It doesn't
gives a
really
shit what I
matter.
say.
And
It
at
doesn't
the end of the
matter,
day,
as long as they're happy with
that's
it.
right. Because you can't write music or create any art to
Please other people.
You can't do
and
it.
that's exactly
Because
why
every time
I
you
like
try
writing
to,
music.
you will alienate somebody.
Yeah.
You
Like,
just
Well, I
will,
think that's a
inevitably.
problem with trying to make, when it's like you're making music because it's your career and not because it's something that you just want to do.
Right.
So that's something I appreciate about the music industry now is you can do that.
Well, it's the same about building a business, as I'm sure you know, because if you start trying to do something that you're not passionate in, you're going to fail.
Yeah,
no matter
exactly.
what. Like, you probably opened a bar because you wanted to open a bar.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
he's a
actually-
raging alcoholic.
whoa,
He brought a half gallon of tequila.
that's the share with the class. It's the share with the
But
class.
that's our point. He enjoys drinking, so he
Speaking
opened a
of,
bar.
Tony, you got a beer for me?
I do actually. Yeah.
Anyone have a pussy light beer? Like a
PBR?
Pabst?
And of course, Light.
Ooh, fuck yeah! I'll take one of those Coors Lights. So one time when I was bartending at the Crystal Ballroom,
Here we go.
a redneck came up to me, like this, super like
We don't have those
stereotypical
here.
redneck,
We
right?
don't have
Scott
those.
Thomason type.
I don't- oh, the drummer and goddamn animals. Anyway, he comes up and thank you, Andrew. He's got like a really thick Southern accent, and he comes up and he orders a Coors Light. Coors Light, and and it's super loud. There's a band playing, 2,000 people in the room. Couldn't hear him. I'm like, what? And I'm fucking already irritated. I'm like, what? He goes, a Coors Light. And I'm by the way, I'm not doing it justice at all. I'm giving him some credit. Like, it was like, Coors Light, a Coors Light. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? So at one point, I'm just like pointing to things behind me, like, just point and tell me what you want. So he points to a Coors Light. I'm like, all right, fucking God, get out of here. I didn't even take money from him. I just gave it to him. Leave. Coors Light.
Golden opportunity missed
Fucking asshole.
in
man.
terms of just giving him like a sex on the beach or something.
Yeah, I know.
Here's a sidecar.
With an umbrella and a bunch of fruit and shit.
You ever
Whenever-
spent any time in North Carolina?
Sure haven't.
No. Yeah. That's
Why?
That's what it's like.
That's what it's like?
That's what it's like.
I bet, man. South is weird. It's like a mystery to me.
Remember
I
when
haven't
they were
really
gonna?
spent any
Remember
time
when the
there.
South was gonna secede and everyone's all, "No, don't." What the fuck?
Yeah, like, why did we stop them? Just let them float away.
Isn't that small like chunk in California
I'm
and
just
Southern
kidding. I love
Oregon
you
that
guys.
wanted to succeed? Was it the state of Jefferson or something?
Yeah,
like
that's
that?
right.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Well, Texas always threatens that too.
Well, Texas is basically its own country.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like the right wing always has that. If you don't like it, then
don't
get
like-
the hell
get the
out. So
fuck
why
out.
are we like? If y'all wanna secede, I'm
Yeah.
for it.
Go ahead. I'm for
The
your own
country could
freedom.
just be the coasts.
There you go.
I mean,
That
yeah,
works.
then we're
you guys
killing
keep
it.
the middle shit.
Right.
Okay? It's fine.
Oh, it is true though. Yeah. Whenever Steve, that just reminded me. Whenever people would order like really floofy drinks, especially dudes. I mean, to be fair, like at church, it's a bar, and so it's more okay to go up there and order 7 lemon drops. You're still kind of an asshole, but you can do it.
But I'm not stopping.
But at a fucking venue when there's 2,000 people behind you, you want me to shake a bunch of drinks for you right now? Is that really what you want?
Yeah, it's
It's a huge dick move. It's a shot in a beer kind of place,
Right.
and everyone knows it.
I've never thought about that. I've
It's
always
an
been on
awareness
that
thing.
side.
I
of
mean,
it.
like
It's just an awareness of where you are.
Yeah.
Like, wake up, dude.
Oh.
You know how
Right.
long that's gonna take?
Well, I'm glad you just told me that because I never thought of that. Granted, I don't order fruity drinks. but
Neil is that guy. He's
I
been
am
that guy
that
till
guy.
this
Well,
moment.
up until this
but
moment.
to be
yeah.
fair, you can tell if someone is that guy and they don't know, he's not being a dick. But if there's a guy that just looks you right in the eye, it's like 7 lemon drops, dude. And I want 2 Cosmos, 1 margarita, top shot. And you're like, so what you do is you repeat the fruity drinks back to him really loudly.
Yeah.
7 lemon drops for this guy? That's what you want? Got it. On it, bro. This is why I couldn't be a bartender. I'm too much of an asshole.
But maybe maybe he wants them in one glass. He's gonna chug it.
Can I get a pitcher?
Tony, you know Max?
Yeah.
Remember He's such an asshole. if people would order drinks like that, he would make them terrible on purpose so that they wouldn't order them again. You just like heavy lime, put little bitters in there. Like
Max Cavalera from Soulfly.
Max
Clearly.
Cavalera from
Yes,
Sepultura
Max.
and Soulfly, yes.
That guy. Yeah.
No, Max is a good buddy of ours. He used to tour with the Days and Nights.
Let's not mention last names, but yes.
Max is a good guy,
Good man.
but he's an
Actually
asshole
saw
bartender.
him at Duncan, myself,
Duncan with the
What's he up to
blonde
these
hair.
Jen, and
Duncan the blonde. Fuck you,
That
man.
asshole.
God, I can't remember his name. It's a buddy of Duncan's. I've hung out with him a couple times, but we all went to see Tom Segura
Oh shit! When? What?
a couple months ago.
God damn it!
Missed
I'm
the
a
fuck out.
huge fan of him.
Oh yeah, as you should be. But
Do you listen to the
There it is.
podcast?
I
Your
haven't-
mom's house podcast?
I haven't listened to it.
Dude, if you're Andrew, you're smiling over there.
Who
Yeah.
who is Tom Segura though?
Yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Segura is a stand-up
Max!
comedian, Steve.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
He's so fucking funny, and him and his wife do a podcast called Your Mom's House Podcast.
But
Oh.
It's the best. You'd definitely like it for sure.
but,
Is there
yeah, ran into
somebody's
Max
mom
there.
yelling at him sound effects on it?
They refer to themselves as moms, like mommies and mom. The wife. It's a whole thing. Anyway,
But yeah, that was the last time I saw Max. So
Jeans,
he was
keep your jeans high and
working
tight.
that show.
Mm.
But yeah.
Yeah, what's Max doing these days? Is he still touring? And he was like a Teamster roadie.
I think he's still
stagehand
doing that.
guy,
Yeah, yeah.
or-
He was working merch. This is such a good
I
fucking
know.
video. Circle Pit.
Dude, I actually reshared that too.
Yeah, I know you did. That's what I tagged you. I was like, Circle Pit, man.
It's so good.
No, I think he got on to another show or something. Still doing the Teamster.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think. Don't quote me.
For the listeners at home, because this is an audio-based podcast, Andrew pulled up a video of like old, I think Jewish guys, or
Some
maybe
sort
Muslim,
of Middle Eastern culture.
Middle Eastern-ish guys that are doing like a
Stomping and dancing around in a circle.
stomping
and
and
then,
religious kind of
having a good time.
dance, but the music is like crunked up fucking rap. There it is.
It really needs to be metal at the Circle Pit point.
There's a bunch of this too.
Yeah.
It's just weird that like without that rap, I mean, what the fuck are they doing? They're just stomping. around.
I'm a little
We are
lost.
not
is
one to
this
question.
is this Max's? Is this new Sepultura? What is happening here?
Yes,
I thought
yes.
we were talking about Max. You can't keep up with any of your friends. No. I want to meet that guy.
Dude, that pic, is that fucking Tom?
That's Bert,
Holy shit.
Fat Bert.
Oh man,
One of
is that the
those-
guy that ordered the Coors from you?
Yeah,
That
the
is,
guy?
Bert
yeah,
is
yeah.
fat.
No, but
Hashtag
his,
Bert is fat.
his drawers, dude. His undies.
So
my.
him and Tom Segura, this guy's
didn't even
another
notice that.
stand-up. They both got in like a fat shaming war with each other, but they did it intentionally so they both lose weight. But it got like super, super aggressive, and like people from around the world that like it's so good. There's like English, like people who would move to Thailand, for example, and then would teach English to like little kids, would have the little kids repeat back in broken English. Bert is fat. Bert is a fat comedian. Bert is the fattest comedian I know. So there's like hundreds of these videos of fat shaming Bert Kreischer.
Oh my god.
You see this, James, on Segura's post? He said, "Sad to hear about the passing of Ralphie May."
Do you know what that means?
And then he
No.
posted a
Yeah, yeah, I
picture
do.
of
Ralphie
Bert
May is a
Kreischer.
huge
He's a
obese
big guy.
comedian that just
Huge.
died.
Yeah, he just passed away.
Do you know how aggressive that is? That's so fucked
my
up. That's
God.
rough.
When was this? This was on the 6th? Yeah, this is recent.
It was like right after Ralphie May died.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom, dude.
Oh, that is
That is
super
so fucking
fucked up. Dude, they're so funny though.
We should engage in
And they're
some.
drinking fucking Fireball. Look at that. You can get down with that, right? Fireball.
Can
He's
I
a
mean, in a
raging
pinch.
alcoholic.
yes.
I'm
Ugh.
just saying, that's
That's not-
routine when
that's
we
not
go
my
out
thing.
on tour, man. Our world tours.
I think can we get in an ill-deserved hot guy shaming war with Sustainer?
Sustainer.
I
they're
just
all
want to
pretty
start
hot.
beef with Sustainer. I think.
It's my whole promo plan.
Right.
I'm
All-
trying to
all
sell
press is good
500
press.
records, man.
Hi, I'm Steve from Goddamn Animals, and fuck Sustainer.
Jesus.
Go buy my
they're
record.
too hot.
They're too hot.
Just buy some primetime advertising like the
Yeah.
presidents do.
Yeah.
Just like, hi, I'm Steve.
Hi.
Let's pool our money to do 2 Super Bowl commercials making fun
That
of
are
each other's
anti-sustainer.
bands that nobody knows. I mean, it would be incredible.
It would be incredible. Although it's like what, $1 million a second for the Super Bowl.
Probably, yeah.
Something
But
like
we'll
that.
probably sell the rest of our records.
You guys should do that
Yeah.
anyway. Just put it on YouTube.
I love it. There are
love it.
Next to a
no-
fire with a smoking robe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
are no good Portland band beefs. I
really
feel
are.
like.
I know of a couple,
that
but I won't
shit.
mention them.
Mention them. Fuck that.
No,
That's
I
what
can't.
they're there for. All right.
I can't.
Okay,
I
fair
can't.
enough.
I can't cause that drama.
Fair enough.
With
Sounds like
sustain-
those
one
are
of them.
AB
One of them sustainer though. I will say that.
Is it the new Shooz and Everclear beef?
No.
What?
I made that up, but I want it to happen. You guys know New Shoes is from Portland too.
Yeah,
right?
the
Yeah.
pop
Okay.
duo from the 80s?
Yeah.
That's aggressively funny, Steve.
Thank you.
Let's just start a
New
rumor.
Shooz and Everclear beef? You just pulled
Oh,
some-
Dandy Warhols. Fuck. I was like trying to pull another Portland band.
That's actually
it
a
could
real
be-
one.
no, it could
Actually,
be
Dandy
Portugal the
Warhols,
Man.
they beef with everybody.
It'd be Portugal the Man.
Wasn't
and
the
Danny
drummer-
Warhols.
What's
There
the
we
big one though?
Decemberists.
Shiny toy
Semblance.
guns.
No, it was
Red
Dandy
Fang.
Warhols and the
Oh.
go.
something.
Big beef.
There was a documentary about it.
It's so good.
Please help me here. The something Brian Jonestown Massacre.
Yes.
That documentary is fucked.
You know what I find kind
What's
of
that
odd?
called?
I listened to the newest Brian Jonestown Massacre record. It's kind of cool, and in a way that doesn't sound dated. I'm
Really?
surprised.
What does it sound like? The same.
It kind of sounds like Caribou. You know the band Caribou?
Not,
It's like
I
kind of
know
like
them.
electronic, and
Oh.
it's cool. But,
Oh, okay.
But
So it's not like tambourine, shaky, sassy Stones kind of stuff?
no.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, Dig.
But
That's the name
speaking-
of the documentary.
yes.
Dude, that is a crazy documentary. You ever
And-
seen that, Neil?
Nope. Have not.
Recommend it.
and do
Box
y'all know
office.
much about
Shit.
Dandy Warhols?
I do.
I hope I can start a beef here.
I know enough.
Start any
remember-
rumors you want.
I
The
do
guitar player used to
know-
come to the Crystal Ballroom a lot.
Mike
when-
Taylor something Taylor Corey Taylor
Corey
Could you
Taylor.
just hand me?
Taylor.
Taylor,
'cause
Taylor,
remember
Taylor,
they
Taylor,
had
Taylor.
those passes that they gave people. It was
Oh,
like a
yeah.
laminated pass
Yeah.
that
It's like,
McMinimans gave people,
you're
and I
part of
remember
the
he
group.
showed up with one of those. Like, the fuck is this?
Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here! And then like, no, you have to
You have to
let him in.
It's a lifetime achievement.
Yeah.
award.
Yeah, that's what it is.
My the auditorium, their studio,
Yeah.
whatever in
Yeah,
Looks
Northwest.
awesome. I've always wanted to go there.
My buddy was or you guys know. I don't know if he'll get mad if you.
Fucking
A
no one
guy
listens to
was
this.
there.
It's fine.
I feel like the Dandy Warhols will get mad, and I don't know if this is a
Let's
relationship
bring it on,
these
man.
people want to maintain.
Shit.
Anyways,
Clearly,
he
they're
was
avid
he
listeners
was
of this.
recording in the auditorium of another band, a different band,
Okay.
and Corey comes in. I think his name's Corey Taylor, whatever. The
Andrew,
singer,
Taylor
the
from
singer.
Slipknot.
Drew, can
of
you
it.
look up Dandy Warhols and find out who the singer
See,
is?
I feel like even the way I'm telling this story
Courtney.
is gonna
It's
piss
Courtney
him off.
Taylor.
Courtney Taylor.
Courtney Taylor.
Oh.
Say it right.
Taylor.
I was
yeah,
maybe
okay, yeah.
thinking of Corey Taylor from Slipknot,
Slipknot.
but
Yeah.
whatever.
I knew that's who you were.
Yes.
So anyhow, he's recording another band in there.
Okay.
That dude on the right.
Yeah.
That's
So
the guy came in.
honestly, if you're listening to this, look up a picture of this man. He's an inspiration, and he's probably, I don't know, in
Neil,
his
do you have a towel?
40s
Just
something.
spilled beer. Sorry.
Oh god.
Just constantly has a glass of red wine and a bag of cocaine, right? This type of guy, right?
Yeah.
So he comes in while he's recording this other band and wants to listen to it. Oh, sure, yeah. Holds his glass up like this, listening to it, smoking a cigarette inside. Probably a line of coke on the table, ready to go.
What year was this?
And this was recent. I
Okay.
mean, this was like 2-3 years.
All
ago,
unacceptable
something like that.
things.
Well, yeah. I mean, I love it. It's like, wouldn't we all aspire to be this person?
Right.
It's unbelievable. But he's listening to. He's like, oh no, play a little for me. Asks him to. The band is there. The engineer is there. Listens to maybe 15 seconds.
Right.
Hate it.
Oh.
It is. It's my favorite.
Is that where? That's why you guys
the
always
That
most
would
say
just
it.
be uncomfortable, but
Pretentious
he's so.
thing ever.
I
my God.
love it. It's my.
It's like what
It's
you
the most
want.
rock and roll shit
So
I've
he's got.
ever heard.
So wait, hold on. Let me recap this. He's got red wine,
Yeah. Cigarette.
cigarette, and he
Cocaine.
obviously just did coke, and he's super like this all the time.
Yeah.
And then he listens to it for like a second.
And says hate it.
Hate it. Oh god, that's so.
And then does he
fucking
just
rock and roll.
leave, drop the mic and leave, or?
I think he stayed. My vision is that
I
he
love
stayed.
that. Yeah, right.
Because it's his house.
It's his thing. He just lives in it.
You know. Yeah.
Right.
I'm like,
Dude, that's so
I would just.
badass.
Can you imagine living
Hate
that
it.
life? I would.
I know.
I don't know.
You
I don't know
should
that
all
I
try.
admire it. I find it interesting.
Well, actually, now that you, yes, I would like to live that life.
yeah, it'd be
I would.
great. Hate it. Moving
it.
on.
James, we have a new
Fuck your
career.
art.
James, new career goal.
But I think maybe that's the kind of honesty that's missing from production these days. I feel like in some ways, like
I can see
somebody
that.
needs to say that's stupid. That
This
sounds
is
terrible. I often think
no,
about
it
this when I'm
exists.
listening
His
to
name is Stefan.
records.
Yeah, his
Oh,
name is Stephen.
His name's Stephen Hawks.
yeah. Afraid to live in a house, but not afraid to give people shit.
Well, you can do it, but you just
Ghostbusters.
have to be politically correct when you go about it these days. I feel like is how.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it, Neil.
I've stopped being politically correct.
Yeah.
It's like if people want to work with me, they know. It's like, look, this sucks.
Well, I mean,
It's like,
You know
Well,
who else is
that's
at it?
good.
Ryan,
dude, yeah.
Ryan Lewis.
But I feel like
He's
it's
pretty honest about
missing in the grand scheme. I feel like I don't know what it is. Maybe
there's a time and a
people are
place where you can
I
say
know
it.
what you mean.
Well,
Yeah.
dude,
I've been in situations where it's like if I were to say that, that's completely.
Well, you listen to
unacceptable.
you watch
But-
old videos of Rick Rubin tracking the Chili Peppers or Mars Volta, Beastie Boys, whatever.
what
He's-
up, Chili Peps?
What up, Chili Peps?
Did you see the thing?
The poster
See the
right
thing
above your
behind
head.
you?
No.
The screen print.
How sick is that, by the way?
See it?
All right.
Because he knows
That is
things.
actually
Yeah.
a pretty good.
But yeah, anyway, he's brutally honest with him. Like, I just don't think, he'll say things like, I just don't think you're being your best self right now. I'm like,
But see,
I
he
think-
does it in a good way. There's
Yeah.
a way that you can word it to tickle the ego, so to speak.
right, like,
Yeah,
you're,
don't
a
say
lot
that.
of the time.
that
you have
shit.
so much more potential. He'll say things
Yeah.
like that. Like,
This is cool,
Dig
but I
deeper.
think you can do better. Remember this
I
idea
don't-
you had, even if they didn't have
he,
it?
Why
but
are
he
you-
never even says, like, passive things like, I think. It's like, I know. You can.
see.
Like, you will.
Yeah.
But why are you working with?
Yeah, it's
with
like
a producer
it's
anyway,
like
so-
simultaneously empowering.
Yes.
No, I mean, I think more
Yeah.
of that
That's
needs
the
to
key.
happen. I'm constantly listening to records, and I was like, wasn't there somebody in the room that was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Or movies. I think about that with movies. Like, how do you not fucking know?
yeah,
How do you not know when
Because
you're
somebody
on
was
set?
afraid to
Like,
speak up or something.
yeah.
Oh, so
There was
many.
somebody in the room who couldn't say it. And blah,
Ever
blah,
heard
blah.
that Patton Oswalt bit? Remember that, Tony? Back in the day, we
Which
used to listen to
one?
Patton
Yeah, we
Oswalt all the
listen
time.
fucking all the time.
Where he talks about this movie called Deathbed, the bed that eats people.
Yes. Yes.
How he goes into this whole
Look at this
bit
guy.
about how this movie was made, and like people got up early, and there's caterers who like made bagels and brewed coffee, and there's producers and directors.
There's a fucking flyer.
It's the bed that eats. Yeah. And like she just goes on for 20 minutes about it's not so much that the movie's bad, it's that it happened. Like
So why that happened.
They went through the script. And, like people
Somebody
pushed through
sold
it.
that.
Casting.
Somebody
Somebody
wrote
sold
it
it.
and sold it to
Greenlighted it.
somebody.
Yep.
I'm like,
Teeth is one of
what?
those for me.
Oh,
I
Teeth.
love fuck you. How dare you?
Well,
How
no, it was
dare
just,
you, sir?
It's one of
I
those
love
things. Just
Teeth.
like, how did this get made?
But do you like it?
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
okay. Yeah. But yeah, I agree.
But
Like
it's just
how
like, who
did that
pitched this idea and said, "Hold on, guys, I've got a good one
Have you
for
guys
you."
seen-
Well,
Steve?
that I feel like
I
that's
have
a
not
that's a
watched it, no.
different
I know what it is,
phenomenon. From how did it get made? I mean, it's a great movie.
Have you seen Teeth?
I haven't because
Do you know what it is?
I don't like penile trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I
so then
find
you
it.
know what it
I know
is.
what
I'm
it is, yes.
uncomfortable with.
Drew,
it.
do you know what Teeth is? The movie?
Saw a little bit.
That's like a Dylan kind of movie. He'd love it.
But I will say, I know a lot of women. I don't want to brag, but I know a lot of women, and I feel like, yeah, of course that's gonna sell. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I mean, how many
Am I
women
off
have
base here?
imagined such a scenario?
No, see, but I think it's good.
But
So-
like deathbed, the bed that eats. That's a different form of like what is happening.
I see
How
what you're
did this
saying.
move forward?
I
This
see what
is
you're
like,
saying.
of course, people are gonna watch
this
it.
girl's vagina has fucking teeth in it. It bites
Yeah,
dicks
Yes,
off. Right.
clearly.
Gotcha.
That's crazy. But yeah,
I
I
see what you're
don't.
saying.
I don't want. It's like people, are like, oh, Antichrist is really good. It's like, I can't.
The musical?
Oh, no.
Oh, the band?
No, Antichrist, the Lars von Trier movie.
Oh,
I think there's some spoiler alert. Turn it off now if you don't want to hear. But I think there's some penile trauma in it, and I have a hard time with that.
Oh, gotcha. Are you a David Lynch fan, Steve?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
I have the hardest time getting into it. And I'm a huge movie guy.
Well,
Dude,
what's
everyone around me is
interesting-
like, he's a genius. I'm like, fucking Mulholland Drive. For one, I'm too dumb to understand it. I don't get it.
But
Andrew's nodding
once
his
you
head.
see, I always watch his
bit
movie, then I
overrated.
look up the
Blue
notes.
Velvet.
I'm
I like
like,
Blue Velvet.
oh, yeah.
I like Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet's good. Mulholland Drive, I feel like is good. What's the other? Lost Highway.
Lost Highway is
That's the
actually that is pretty
shit.
good. Lost Highway is pretty good.
But I haven't watched
Rad
Inland
soundtrack.
Empire because
I haven't
people
either.
didn't seem stoked. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
And it's like 3 hours.
Is it?
Yeah, I feel like I have very little free time.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
So you're welcome.
But
But I mean, you've got.
but like
two
I feel
kids,
like I
right?
often just end up watching shit that I've already seen, so that I don't have to pay attention, so I can do something else while I'm doing that. Because
That's exactly how
I'm
I
the
am
same
with
way.
it.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm like,
so
I guess
and
I'll
like
watch Fight
watching
Club
a
again.
3-hour art house film is like that's a commitment.
Dude, I remember a few years back, my wife left town, and so I got up early. I made a whole day out of it, and I watched Lawrence of Arabia, which is like almost 4 hours long. Do you know what I mean? The old movie back in the day. It's
Who directed it?
incredible.
Lars von Trier.
Lars von Trier, David Lynch. I think
They
it's
teamed
from
up.
like the 60s, 70s, but it's one of those movies where everyone tells you to go watch it, like Casablanca or whatever, and it totally holds up. It's incredible.
Really?
It's so good.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be
No.
like, and I can't believe I wasted my
No,
time.
no, but my point being is like, yeah, I can't do that shit anymore. I mean, I made a whole day. I got fucked up. I took a bunch of Vicodin. I got a bunch of
Never
like, tall boy
masturbated
beers.
so
While
much
ago.
in your
It was a
life.
while ago.
It was a while
I was
ago.
deep into them pills.
Mm.
But yeah, we had a whole day by myself. I refer to myself as we.
I do that a
The
lot.
royal.
We.
The royal.
I did that with Braveheart one day too. I got like a couple oldie 40s and just a handful of Vikes, and then just went to town.
That sounds like a good time.
If you're gonna watch Braveheart, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gives that speech right before they go to battle, and you're
Yeah.
just like up on your feet in your underwear, just like yes.
Hey Drew, where are we at? About an hour ish.
Yeah, 106.
All right. Well, let's go take a ceremonial pee break. This is where everyone pees. Jack off if you want. We can touch each other. Tony, you game?
Hard pass.
A little jack off session.
hard no. Let's say that.
It's a
I
hard.
promise there will be no
hard.
penile trauma.
You're saying hard, so that's a yes.
No.
We got a yes on
What's
Tony.
up? That's my guy.
That is a
We got a yes with Tony.
that's a term you're
Neil,
unfamiliar
you in
with.
for a
Be
quick?
gentle but firm.
Steve, you in for a quick jack off session?
Yeah, we'll see where it takes us. I have to feel comfortable.
Got to pee first.
But the no penile.
Would you like me to?
trauma
Would you like me to
promise
pour you
was-
another shot
yeah.
of tequila?
I mean, sure, yeah. I mean,
All right. Okay, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back and talk about current events. We'll be right back.
And penile trauma.
My dick wonders why I call you all the time. What can money say? My dick don't feel the need to give such much.
So, Steve, I was surprised to see all of your Prince Alberts with your talk of penile.
yeah,
Trauma,
a lot of people thought it wasn't possible, but
Is this where the trauma fear came into play?
Yeah,
A bad experience.
Tony, you got a little
actually, I've
weird.
never thought about it, but it was shortly after
Is there anything you
that
want to talk about?
session. No, actually, that's the thing with trauma is you generally don't want to talk about it
Repress.
live on a
Repress.
podcast.
Repress. That's a healthy thing to do, right? Just don't talk about things.
Suppress it.
Yeah,
See,
suppress
again, the
that.
sound. We need the sound thing, Andrew.
Bam,
Like,
bam. I
did
like
you
making
a
a
fart
fart.
noise.
No, like a sad violin sound. Well, Steve's talking about his
Foghorn.
trauma that didn't happen to his dick.
But seriously, though, it looked infected. You should get that checked out.
Yeah, and
Well-
Tony, I thought you didn't want to get all weird in the bathroom, and then you just did. I mean, I was taking a pee, and then
As
you
he looks
walked
at his
in,
beer.
and it got really weird.
He was all hopped
Why
up
you gotta
on
make things
Snickers.
awkward,
No,
man?
he just opened the door, pulled his pants down like a little kid, and then just looked at me. It was like, "What? What do you want me to do?"
Don't forget, I gestured at.
Don't
I
act
just
like you're
Kept
not
pointing to his
impressed.
dick.
That's
It was
what he
like,
was saying.
All right,
You want some of this?
all right,
No?
all right.
That's assault, and you should look into it.
Speaking of current events, there's a lot of that going on these days.
Yeah, let's talk some current events. Andrew, take us away.
All right, we got a powerful Elon Musk,
Ooh,
Tesla, going around Puerto Rico rebuilding the grid with some solar
Holy-
panels.
oh, because all the power went out from the thing, the hurricane.
The hurricane.
Holy shit,
and
that's
no one
cool.
was fixing it.
That is badass. Tesla has used its solar panels and batteries to restore reliable electricity at San Juan's Hospital. I'm not even going to pronounce that. De Nino. That's not that hard, James. Children's Hospital. And what company founder Elon Musk calls, quote, the first of many solar and battery Tesla projects going live in Puerto Rico. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, actually.
It's awesome.
The only problem is that now all the doors open up, which in narrow hallways has been a real issue, but they're working on that.
Wait, what? That went over my head.
Don't the doors open up in Tesla?
On Tesla cars?
Oh.
I don't actually know,
upwards?
honestly.
Open
Yeah,
up.
I
like
got
that.
your reference, but I was like,
Andrew's
do they actually
giggling over
do
here.
that? The Lambo doors they installed in the hospital, they just don't work right.
Where's that tequila?
So,
Just a lot of it over there.
mhm.
Well, that's fucking crazy.
In all seriousness, I think that's
No, it's badass,
incredible.
man.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's-
and-
that's-
yeah.
That's like
That's a drop the mic moment. Just
Yeah.
like, fuck you. We're not
and
doing
it's
it. I'll do something.
the definition of what like someone with power and money should be doing.
Yeah, really.
The antithesis of the Trump reaction, I feel like. So
Yeah, he's a real
yeah,
turd.
kind of nailed it there.
Real turd.
What was the Trump reaction to that?
He criticized.
Yes, that's right.
He criticized
Like
the,
the mayor.
yeah, who was
What did you criticize him on?
like they're
Their
doing
infrastructure,
shit.
and they weren't doing enough, and it's their fault, and
Aren't
blah
they a
blah blah.
poor
Yeah, I guess
country?
criticize is
Of
even
course.
putting it nicely. He really insulted the country and her. It was nuts.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, what the fuck? But you know,
Yeah,
how surprised can we be at this point? I guess.
Right.
yeah, no kidding.
Well, as you can tell, I basically just stay out of it now. I live here in this cave.
Right. Yeah.
As you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
The
not?
only
mean, I
time
think
I
it gets-
leave is to go to 7-Eleven.
Yep.
That's the only time I leave.
And that's where you get your news.
That's
National Enquirer, right? Yeah.
I'll get a pack of smokes and go ahead and just fill me in on world news real quick.
Yeah.
No, that's what the bums outside the 7-Eleven are for.
Now,
tell me
did you
what's going
hear
on.
about what Trump said?
No, do tell. Would you like a cigarette?
Andrew, I see you got that video pulled up.
What is that?
So
That's
this is
clearly
something
a
I
skater,
actually
right?
came across. It's so again, this is an audio-based show.
So
but
longboarding through a park?
yeah, so a skateboarder's GoPro footage captures before and after wildfire disseminated the Santa Rosa, California neighborhood of
Decimated.
decimated Santa Rosa, California neighborhood of Coffee Park.
Holy shit.
So it's a before and after. It's a kid on an electric skateboarder skating through his neighborhood before the fire, and it's like gorgeous California, pristine neighborhood, and then after, it looked like a bomb went off.
Wow.
Start from the beginning again.
Is this
Oh,
I just flew through I don't know where Santa Rosa is relative to anything. Where's that in California?
Northern,
Northern California?
yeah.
When I was flying out of
Look at that.
when I flew into and out of San Francisco, I could see the fires that were around there.
Really?
Big
From the
fires.
plane?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a bit of that too when I flew.
But yeah, there
look.
were- there
Okay,
were a
so
ton
here's
of
the first
fires.
part. Look at that. Gorgeous.
Yeah, just
It's going to be
New
decades
rainwater
before it
there.
looks like
Park,
that
you know?
again.
Right.
green.
Kids, people running around having a good time. Sunny day. and then the next shot is of him going back there after the fire. Oh my God,
Jesus.
it's brutal, man.
Yeah, it does look like a bomb went off.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I came across that. Yeah. What's this, Drew?
Oh no.
Oh God.
Oh no. What does the mouth have to say?
Okay, so this is an ABC News Instagram post.
Fake news.
President Donald Trump says he's made out to be more, quote, uncivil than he really is. Quote, I went to an Ivy League college, ... I'm a very intellectual person. play this video, Drew.
Well, I think the press makes me more uncivil than I am. You know, people don't understand. I went to an Ivy League college. I was a nice student. I did very well. I'm a very intelligent person. The fact is, I really believe, I think the press creates a different image of Donald Trump than the real person.
So what you're not hearing or seeing is James and myself face palming.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that the media probably makes things worse than they could be, but he's also an idiot and doesn't.
I imagine that there are some
but
news
you're
media.
missing the point, though. Have you ever heard a president ever say that?
No.
Ever take the time out of his
I don't know if they've ever
fucking
needed
schedule?
to.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, I
know.
think
We're
that's
gonna
the whole
distribute
point.
this.
Like, if you actually possess a certain quality, it's like it's fairly obvious.
just
You don't have to
obvious.
state it.
You don't have to
like
state
the
it.
more you have to state
That's
something,
true.
probably the
Obama
less true that
never
it is.
had to do that.
Also, I mean,
I agree. The press
this is like
a
a
disaster.
mental
Yeah, I
health
would agree.
issue with the
What's
president,
interesting
you
too
know?
is
Right.
like because all presidents before there was a couple that were generals, but I mean like he's the only non-politician really. Like you know what I mean.
yeah,
So
no.
like there's like politicians who grow up with politics as a career in mind, watch every T, like cross every T, dot every I.
And how do
He's
you-
an idiot, but at the same like.
Well,
You know what I
President
mean?
Reagan was an
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah, and you're.
That is true.
But the thing is, it's not like Trump. It's not like he's just a guy off the street. He's not one of our dads. He's not just some dude. He's Donald Trump. He's a billionaire he grew up in Manhattan. He
was also a celebrity.
That's my
Yeah,
point.
that's
He's not
right.
a normal person. He's a
And
freakazoid.
in a
He's
perfect
an
world, he
orange
would have been
weirdo.
held accountable his whole life, and the problem is that he's only now being held accountable. So he's gone his whole life being a fucking monster. 'Cause
monster.
There's no one that
Yeah,
has held him to any other standard.
dude.
And
There's
now it's his whole
One
life's
could
on
argue the
display.
same for Anthony Weiner.
Absolutely. Yeah, but he's not
Yeah.
the president.
No, but
Right.
he's a politician.
Yeah, and again, see, this is where I'm not entirely sure if it's a good thing that he's never been a politician. People keep arguing like, oh, it's great. He's not part of the system.
Well, the
so that's
people that
cool.
argue that are just tired of corrupt politicians.
And I get it. I
Yeah.
get all
Yeah.
that. And who isn't? But like,
my
he's
feet are
not
away the
the
TV.
guy. I mean, so Steve, you were talking about how he's never been held accountable. There's a documentary Vice did on his construction projects in Dubai. Dude, it's fucking nuts. He quite literally employs. It's like slavery. These guys who can't leave Dubai. He's paying them nothing, so they basically have to live on the construction site, and it's just a disaster. And-
Unfortunately, a lot of people do that, but they're not president of the United States. That's back to your point. I mean, like,
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a bigger problem where a lot of people need to be held accountable, but
Yeah,
it's
but yeah,
it
none of them.
becomes very
But
apparent.
he's the president of the
you know?
United States.
Yeah,
This
Yeah,
I mean,
that's-
so.
in a
Right,
way, it's like,
that's the
well, hey,
point.
it just
Yep.
it shows the world, the standard for, how people are expected to operate in these positions that really have arguably more power than the president. If that's the standard for everyone that's making that kind of money and running those that caliber of company.
yeah.
It's a lot bigger problem than just having a president who's off the
Yeah,
rails.
no, I agree with that. I mean, it's just like there's good poor people, there's bad poor people, there's good rich people. There's like you look at Elon Musk. He's in a position of power and he just did fucking something great. But then you got the opposite too, and it's just unfortunate. But
Yeah.
if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I'm
a huge
depressed.
bummer. Let's go
Yeah,
on
see,
to
this is why
another
I don't-
story.
I don't-
I'm sad.
I'm
Frowny
one of those.
face.
I'm one of those people that I don't trust being informed anymore.
Oh no.
Do you know what I mean by that?
I do. Yeah. What's factual?
Yeah, exactly. Like we don't
With
know.
so
Like
many-
one news outlet might say one thing about one story, and then another one will say the complete opposite about the same story.
Yeah.
And it's like, just what are you getting exposed to?
No, I agree. I mean,
just-
confirmation
yeah.
bias is real. We've talked about that. Like,
Yeah.
if you are a liberal person, you lean to the left, then you're just naturally going to seek out
Right.
things that,
Yeah.
sort of
Reaffirm it.
reaffirm what you already believe.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're a right conservative person, you're going to do the same thing. You'll go
Remember,
Well, I think that's where we lost our way with news outlets. You know,
I know.
now it's like
It's
you
for
do
profit.
watch what,
Yep.
it's
Which
not
one
objective.
caters to
it's
your
not
beliefs,
objective at
yeah.
all. There literally is a right and left news right down the middle.
I mean, but I do feel like the left-leaning organizations cover things in a way that's much more objective. I mean, they might put a spin on it, but they're actually
Could be.
they're factually accurate. You know, like
Yeah.
it's like the right-leaning that like will just straight up spew some bullshit and unapologetically.
Yeah,
It's
I feel
like,
the
yeah, it's
the
like,
opposite. They've
Really?
done. They've both.
That's, at
They've
points, I
both
feel the
done it.
opposite too.
Yeah, they've both
It goes
done
both
it.
ways. For me, it
Yeah.
goes both ways. But like,
It's that, but there's a difference between skewing and outright just like spewing some
Yeah.
bullshit.
And they've both
Like,
done it. Both sides.
But because
which is why I can't trust them
the
anymore.
left
but
left
you can
side
use
of the
your gut.
spectrum is going to hold
Right.
you accountable. If you cannot straight up tell a lie there, but like
Yeah.
it's an accepted form of information disbursement on the other side.
I think it's just the point. It takes a little more effort. As like,
Oh, yeah.
it's funny because it's ironic that it's now easier and it's more on demand to get news and information and get updated.
But you're
But
overloaded.
You have,
at the same time, we're also overloaded, and like Neil points out, and is absolutely true. It's hard to trust everyone.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you have to do your due diligence, and you have to go and confirm.
But then at the
what's been
same
said.
time, what are the
Go do
outlets
your
you're
own
using
research.
to do your research?
Yeah, but
Are
I
they
mean,
all
I'm not
confirming
too
what that
concerned about
says?
that. I'm not
Yeah.
that conspiracy theorist about it. Like, if you
Well,
do
no,
a
but
quick
I mean-
search, you can find the truth about Donald Trump. It's not that hard.
Right.
You know, you can do it.
You can find good things. You can find bad things.
Right,
but that's
you
what I'm
can-
saying about the left-leaning organizations. They often rely on information sources that are held accountable to a certain degree, well, to a very specific degree.
And I feel like
actually,
those
and it's
degrees have
like-
changed. Is my point.
Yeah,
I mean, like
I-
because
it's
like there was a
possible.
point in time back during the Bush days that CNN for me was that like, okay, if I want the actual truth, I'm gonna go to CNN, and then that swapped for a period of time because I remember a time like Fox News is a piece of shit, like middle finger, but it's just like I don't trust anything I see anymore.
But those
I
are
just
also
don't.
outlets, not information sources. You know, so like a like
Well, I was using
CNN
that as an
versus-
example
yeah,
for
yeah.
a source as well. Like it was just a random example. I just there's so much shit out there. There's so much stuff going on. I just never feel like I'm properly informed.
Oh yeah, I mean it's hard to say.
No matter
that
how much research I do.
Yeah, I
that's,
agree
that's
with
where
you.
I'm at.
I
the
agree.
average, yeah.
Like
I
I'll
think
look
that
at stuff.
that's-
I'll be like, okay, I see both sides. Okay, I might form an opinion, but I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I'm never gonna know enough to be properly
You know
informed.
what I like about you? It's kind of like how we've talked about this before. Like I don't really think of myself as a left wing guy anymore. I just don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, I if you were to do the tally, I've definitely leaned to the left
Right.
historically, and
Right.
at
Yeah.
a distance, you'd be like, oh,
See,
well,
I've
James is
always
probably a liberal
leaned
person.
right, personally. Yeah.
And so, like for me, I'm
But now I just
I'm
hate
just
both.
me. I'm
Yeah.
just like it depends on
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like I'm very pro Second Amendment. And
That's a good place to be.
Yeah,
the
it
the
is.
problem
That's a
is that
reasonable place to be.
a two-party system, a
bullshit.
right and a left,
It's
or
so stupid.
it's
one or the other.
polarizing,
It
and then
is.
it's very easy to control.
That's what it is.
what
Divide and
happens.
conquer.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
divide us
that's exactly
and
what it
you
is.
can
So getting to a place where you're like, I'm not right or left,
I'm
I
just
am
me.
somewhere in the middle.
Right.
Like
It's hard.
eventually that necessitates a third.
I
Party,
think
or
the
a fourth
reason
party. You know,
I think
and
the
that-
reason a
get
lot
it.
of people are like that now is because they're so fed up with both sides.
Right.
Just all the drama. Like, I don't know if any of us are actually old enough to have witnessed it, but do you remember reading in history books about when the government worked together to change something?
Yeah,
Or
I
when it
know.
was like a status of honor to be the
A
president.
statesman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
That doesn't happen
criticism
anymore.
of Trump. It's
Yeah.
not that I think I don't believe that there's evil, and I'm agnostic. I don't really believe that there is such thing as like the devil and God and evil, and I just don't. So, I think that Trump, I don't think he's like a bad guy per se. I think he's done some shitty things.
Like we all have.
Right, but my gut tells me he's unqualified for the job. and that's the thing that terrifies me. Is
Well,
it's not
see,
like
So
he's,
I would say he's clearly unqualified like that, and like it's not even a debatable.
See, I
you
would
know,
debate
claim,
it.
but
I would debate it, and the reason
absolutely.
now
No, I agree.
It's for me. It's one of those things like that South Park episode: pick between a douche or a turd
Yeah,
sandwich.
it's
Yeah,
it's
but
a
see, for me,
douche.
like Hillary Clinton versus Trump, the adult decision is to vote for the one qualified person.
See, I would 101 disagree with that
So
strongly.
Trump is a more
I voted for him.
wow.
Really.
Yeah, and it's not because I liked him. It's because I'm sick of the corruption going on. Now, granted, he might just bring the same thing, but
Yeah.
it was in my mind, it was the only option. Whether we continue with the same corruption, or we have a chance with somebody who's an idiot.
Yeah.
That's where it was in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't. You know, I didn't vote for him. I voted against
You voted
the status
against Clinton.
quo.
Yeah, the status dynasty of politics.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. But like, I don't know. I disagree 100% on the
Right,
other.
right.
Like
Oh,
for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
there's no way that someone like that could ever. That's a nightmare that a reality star became the president of the United States.
It's not the fact that he's a reality star. For me, it's a tough. And again, I'm not educated enough or informed enough to make an accurate decision. But my gut told me that I don't know. There's just so many problems going on, and granted, none of it actually affects my life, like you know, to a point. I mean, like it affects how the world sees us and blah blah blah. But the United States has already been viewed kind of in a shitty way.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the vote was more. I'm just sick of the way things are going. Do something about it. Do your fucking job.
I think you
stupid
represent a
politicians.
lot of people. They did
Yeah.
a middle finger vote.
Yep, that's
Like,
exactly
fuck
what it
you, I'm
was.
done. I'm gonna
I
vote
think
for
that was on
this
both
That's
sides,
freak of
honestly.
nature.
dangerous. I feel like that's really
It is.
dangerous.
It's very
It's like,
dangerous.
Yeah.
Very
I agree.
dangerous.
and the man is
I agree.
he's he is a sexual predator. I mean, he's a monster. And it's not something that I want
I know.
I don't want my children growing up in this country. So it's like,
Yeah.
I get being sick of the status quo, and I think that in a two-party system, it only exists to further the status quo. So I get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
To
It's
a
the
certain
only
extent, but
yeah.
but Donald Trump, it defies logic. I mean,
It defies logic to me too.
I
know, I
can't
agree.
imagine.
I-
But
I-
I think
I
that's
also,
the problem.
I
with
also
trying to
feel like it
decide,
defies
like-
logic. It does defy logic, and he's right. It is dangerous. This is how dictators come to power.
Yeah, well, and this is lasting.
It's
man.
really unfortunate that we have to do that in this country. Like, whatever happened to a leader coming forward for the honor of doing
Well, you
it?
just said it. Yeah, like what happened to like a statesman? What happened to like the honor of being a president?
What happened to our two-party system looking out for trying what's best for the country, as opposed to when Obama came in power, the Republicans were like, we're going to do everything in our power to deny him.
knock him down.
How about what we do what's good for the fucking country?
And the
Yeah, and
people,
that's
Yeah.
the thing for me. Like, you can say if you don't like Obama, cool. If you thought that he
Yeah,
was
that's fine.
a gun grabbing liberal, cool. But that's fine. That's you're right. But like, there's a difference between like a class act, a guy that's at least classy, that can
Yeah.
speak
I agree.
in a way that you're like, oh shit.
I agree.
You know, I don't know. That's the thing I don't like about Trump.
I don't like him at all.
Yeah.
I don't. But again,
You didn't vote for him. You voted for
Yeah.
the middle finger thing.
because
Yeah.
I mean,
I get it.
For
I get it.
for me, and again, this is inform yourself wherever you can and make your own decision.
Yep.
Who knows if it's true? But there was that whole like Clinton Foundation bullshit.
Oh,
and like there
she's
was
not squeaky clean.
Oh no! And
no,
then
no.
like
No.
Don't get it
during
twisted.
one of the debates, Trump even admitted like I bought you to pass legislation in my favor. You're
Yeah.
corrupt,
Yeah, I mean,
which
they-
means he's corrupt too.
They went to each other's weddings. And shit. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like
it's
the
like-
lines are so blurred at this
Yeah.
point. But
Anyway, for me, it was
Yeah.
the lesser of two evils.
dude,
in
and
my
that's
mind.
what I was saying is, I happen to agree with Steve that I wouldn't be able to do it myself. But I agree that like you do represent a group of people that actually are very close to us and very close to the people that or the type of person we all are, which
Right.
is DIY, punk rock ethic, like I hate to use the word, but like counterculture,
No, I know
right?
what you mean. Yeah.
And we're trying something different than like what our parents did and their parents did.
Instead of liberal, I say free spirited.
Yeah, you're probably more of a libertarian.
I am. I
Yeah.
agree in
And see,
helping
that's the
people.
thing is like, well, that's what. Let me just real finish. Like,
Well, there also shouldn't be an option where you shouldn't be forced into a corner where you
Exactly.
want to vote for somebody to fuck someone else over, essentially.
Yeah,
you know, like
right.
like that. That is poison.
Agreed.
You know,
It's
to the
I agree.
country
Angry
as a
voting.
whole. So
Right.
I agree.
I
yeah.
mean, and I think that's a symptom of a two-party system, which brought
But
us
I
to
guess
where
what I was-
we're
it's a
at,
symptom of
I
a two-party
suppose,
system that
but-
isn't doing shit.
right.
What I was trying to say is that like
I don't think a two-party system you can't vote your conscience if you only have two candidates, essentially.
We used
right.
to.
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
There's not a lot of.
It used to be like that before, like the
Well, it's a
Carnegies.
stupid
and
system. It needs to be changed. It makes no fucking sense that one person is supposed to represent what 300+ million people. That's absurd.
well, that's the idea
It's
of the Congress
absurd.
and the
Coasts,
Yeah, but even
man.
that,
the
like-
coasts.
Yeah, right.
and Texas in its own.
But see,
4 separate countries.
that's the problem, though, Steve. Like, I know you're kidding, kind of, and I kind of agree with you, kind of, but not like. But it is arrogant and elitist to refer to the other states as flyover states. You hear it a lot on the
Right.
left. They're like, "What do they even do out in Wyoming?" It's like, dude, people live there.
Yeah.
That is a whole like.
They fucking
people's
sustain a lot of our
family and-
food.
Yeah, and Texans, they're not all assholes. Like,
No.
Well,
you know,
even
I see what
even
you're
like
saying,
the
but
geographic
just
nature
fair to
of the like
They're completely different.
you're gonna have different priorities in different states.
That's
It's
right.
an
You live in Montana,
incredibly
things are different
large
for you.
country to govern. So having two parties, you're either this or you're
that.
that, and
Yeah.
let
That's
the chips
crazy.
fall where they may with
I
their
agree with that.
policy. Like
Crazy.
that's nuts.
See,
It
when
is
I lived
nice.
in North Carolina, it was a different country
Oh,
compared
yeah.
to what I'm used to.
Oh, I mean, you go
Yeah.
20 minutes in any direction. And
Oh, what do we got here? I think
What
we
was
need
that,
to
Corey Haim?
change.
That was Corey.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we'll talk
Fetterman.
about that. But the one last thing I was going to say is like the
Oh.
punk rock ethic does attract people. I mean, look, if you listen to the lyrics of like old punk bands and stuff, it's anti-government.
Yeah.
It's small government. It's leave me alone, let me be free.
Yeah.
Let me be right.
Let me be who I want to
And if
fucking
you
be.
if you look up what that is, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right wing. That's
That
conservative.
is.
But at the
That's
same time,
Republican.
those that
And so anyway, that's why it attracts people like that. It does represent like, hey, I want to be fucking left alone. If I want to buy a gun, I can buy a gun. If I want to do this, I can do that. Like, so anyway,
And off
yeah,
of-
but the problem with that is it's like a blanket statement that's generally used to preserve the rights of those that are already in power. So it's like you want to be left alone if you're making millions
right.
of dollars.
Right.
But you don't want to be left alone if you're impoverished and you have a family to take care of.
that's
you know?
exactly
So
the
it's like
point. And nothing.
there
and that's
is
the
a
point I
middle
was
ground.
going to
I
make.
know.
Is
Some people can't just pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
right. And
Some people
I'm
need help.
I would argue nobody can. like you
Yeah,
know, like
right.
that. It's a
Well, you did
there's
it. You started
system
a
that's not by myself.
right, not by yourself.
And there's a
But-
certain amount of privilege that allowed me to be in that position that not everybody has. So
right, and I agree with
Right.
that. I
and
agree.
and
I agree with
privilege
help.
is not synonymous with like not
like-
doing work. Like you
Right.
can be privileged and work hard and but you can also not have a lot of the steps up that people have. And
Right, and that's what I agree
Yeah.
with. I agree in helping people like that, which is why I'm all for all the programs and stuff. My problem is people abuse it.
By the way, Neil, I think it's great that you admitted who you voted for, and I think that's super important that people aren't worried about being fucking crucified.
I had a
for, like-
roommate leave because I voted for him.
It's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit.
I don't care.
No, I know, but I
Yeah,
mean, but
I
that just so you know, that's bullshit. And
Yeah,
like
I
we
know.
should be able to talk about it.
Yeah,
And, like,
exactly. That's a big
That's
problem in
so
our country is
crazy.
that
We
people
can
with different
disagree.
beliefs can't have a conversation.
conversation.
You can't
Yeah.
talk about it.
It's
You
too.
know,
It's,
like-
I mean,
yeah,
this
like you
this.
don't want to get tense.
It's
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know, and you're like,
People have different
no, they're
points
gonna
of
think I'm a
view.
Trump
People
guy.
got
They're
raised.
gonna think I'm this.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
like,
care if they
no,
do.
It was just a decision an adult made, and it might
Yeah.
not represent someone in a year from now or whatever. It's like sometimes you just have to like, I want to make a decision. I don't know. You just vote for a person. I don't know.
Yeah. I
So
don't know.
anyway, I commend you for saying it.
No,
like,
thank you.
It's seriously.
Well,
honestly,
see, what
'cause
sucks about this election is you find the need to commend me for it.
I know.
Never once in any previous election would anybody feel the need to do that, and like never
I'm
once.
actually not commending you for voting for him. Just be clear.
For
I'm
being the
commending you
honesty.
for being brave to,
Yeah.
to talk about it.
Right,
Yeah,
never
'cause I
once has that
disagree
happened.
That you did it, but like,
Yeah,
that
but
doesn't
never
matter.
once has that
it
happened.
doesn't matter.
And I mean the other thing too that it's so sad about this election is I've lost friends because I've told people that.
It's so fucking. Sick.
For the first election ever, I feel like I have to be quiet about it,
Hey,
which
man,
is why
I
when he
have
comes
used
up,
to
I
alienate a
rarely
lot of
talk
people,
about
too.
it.
I've gotten really huge arguments with people over some stuff that are like, oh, I thought you were a liberal. You believe that, and you believe in these rights. I'm
Who
like,
cares?
I just do. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't. Care.
It's never made sense to me. Like,
Yeah, in
But,
my mind, it made sense. I realized that I might be misinformed. I don't care. I mean, he's got some ugly ass pictures. I'll
He's
give
a
you that.
silly looking man. All right, let's move on to something
Yeah.
different. That you had a picture of Corey Hames up, or
Feldman.
Feldman rather.
Yeah, but it's some dark content.
Oh, it is dark.
What
Corey
the?
Feldman launches campaign to expose Hollywood pedophile ring. Oh,
Yeah, it seems to be big news
I mean,
right now.
I think that's great.
that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement.
Yeah, we're good. Pedophiles
Moving
suck.
on.
Fuck them.
Dude, how about that Harvey Weinstein shit though? Isn't that crazy?
You notice all
dude.
these people coming out now?
Fucking crazy.
All these
know.
actresses. Who was Bush Senior just got accused. Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah, Bush Senior just got accused by an actress. I can't remember, but they're all coming out.
Well,
now.
that's what Steve was saying. Like, there's so
Yeah.
many people that need
That
to be
is
held accountable.
fantastic. I'm
I
so
know.
glad
I
that
know.
we live in a world now where people
You can't get away
feel
with this
comfortable
shit
coming
anymore.
forward. Yeah,
I agree.
And
Victim
you know,
shaming
it's
is
really
such a fucked up
exposing
thing.
how pervasive it is.
That's right.
and
yeah.
I agree.
how much needs to change. I mean, even just culturally, like what males identify with and what
Yeah.
you know what's considered masculine and or celebrated as being masculine, which is really
bizarre,
just
right?
victimization.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
super
think
weird.
uh,
Well, and look,
I think
like
it's
we all
time
come from
for-
that. Like even
Yeah.
in rock bands and stuff, like, you know, there's always that thing of like, we're gonna be like Motley Crue. We're gonna get fucked up and we're gonna fuck some bitches. It's like that
Which
sounds
is
it's cool.
nuts.
Like it's but we know these people.
oh yeah, and it's
And
crazy
you know
to
who
me
you are
because
for your
you know,
listening.
like something
and
came up
I
with-
dabbled in it. It's not like I wasn't part of it. It's not like I didn't egg that on, but it's nuts. It's fucking crazy.
It is,
Right?
and you look at, well, I don't know, like I think I always identified with, you know, a lot of the,
He's more of a Guns N' Roses guy.
yeah, absolutely, but
Axel's.
I don't
always
know,
been my
like
guy.
you know, like Nirvana changed my life, and you know all those
Yeah.
bands that came out, and I'm also, you know, I'm 37, so that's when I was a teenager, and like, you know, hearing these bands that really espouse these values that I identify with. So like the whole bullshit rock star, like I'm
Yeah.
gonna fuck everybody thing, like I find it very embarrassing. Like I'm like,
Ugh.
that is super embarrassing, and I don't know, like I just can't fathom why that's like. I mean, I guess on a very superficial level, you get why people behave that way. I guess if they're not held accountable, you know.
As
But
long as
I guess I
everything's
just figured
consensual.
we were
I mean-
living in a time when people, you know,
Yeah.
turn that corner when we are being held accountable.
Well, it sounds like it's finally starting to happen. I don't know if that's the
And
internet.
I'm glad,
or-
and that's what you want. Like I have a son and a daughter. I want to raise my son, you know,
that face
to
is
live
rough.
his life in a way that
Yeah.
enriches the lives of others. And you know, I want to raise my daughter to be strong, and
Right.
you know, and I
she
think
can pursue
that's
other things.
important. And I'm kind of surprised that there's this kind of backswing towards celebrating that that dynamic. So it's nice to see these people held accountable, honestly.
Yeah,
would
I
agree.
think James made a
agree.
good point that because of the way everything is so connected now, unfortunately this kind of shit has been happening a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh,
it's
God,
just now
yeah.
becoming exposed on the
right.
masses.
Long time.
And shit's hopefully finally going to change.
Right.
And I
yeah.
think that, like, you know, one of the things that I personally don't, I don't hold very close to my values, like on the liberal left side of things, is the social justice warrior kind of thing. Like,
How
it's
do you
not, like shutting down free speech and like, you know, being overly sensitive to everything.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
guess
I
that's what
don't.
mean.
Yeah, I don't.
But-
I hate that. Yeah.
But like to what you're saying, Steve, I am a sensitive guy, and like this stuff bothers me. It fucking pisses me off to no end.
Right.
That has been the culture for so long. I don't know. It's like, but I think the social justice warrior movement, stuff like that, like it comes from a good place. Like honestly, I think that's where it comes from. Is like people are tired of people calling other people horrible names and using derogatory terms and like, you know, the N-word and calling people faggots and like it's horrible and people are fucking tired of it.
Yeah.
And so like it's good that people start to speak up. Anyway, I guess like it originates from a great place and ultimately I think it's a positive thing. But I don't think people should be banned from speaking at colleges because someone else doesn't agree with them. Like, that's crazy.
My high school
and it's
trip-
happening. It's happening right now.
My high school
It's a
got
bummer.
sued to change their name.
Well,
They
what
were
was
the
it?
they were the Malala Indians, named after the original tribe of the town I come from. But somebody got offended, and they sued, and they changed their name.
See, that kind of stuff is weird because it's like,
It was in tribute to the Malala Indians, but
well,
somebody
but
saw
I'm
it
not
as
a
offensive.
Malala native, so I don't know. Like, maybe that's why I don't speak on how black people feel about this or that. Like, I'm a white guy.
Well, no, it wasn't
So
even. It wasn't
doesn't
even.
matter
It,
what I think. Like,
it wasn't even an Indian who sued. It was.
Oh.
It was a mom from, like, I think,
some soccer mom,
like Beaverton.
right?
No, it wasn't Beaverton. It was like Sherwood. She
Yeah.
didn't even. She didn't even go.
I don't
Her
know.
kids didn't even go to it. But
But,
that's
like-
the kind of insight. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It
what
was,
you're
it was
saying. Yeah, I
proving
mean,
a point.
ultimately, the thing that bothers me is it's like there is a little tinge of it like being, well, that's what happens in a privileged society.
You
is
can
when
go
you
too
don't-
far with it.
When you don't have real things to worry about, when you don't have to worry about water and feeding your kids.
I think we
and,
should be
like,
sensitive to everybody, but
yeah, of
there's-
course,
there's a fine line.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can't shut down speech ever.
No.
That's like a cornerstone of our society. You should be able to say what you want whenever. Period. And if you don't agree with it, then you should say what you want to fight that.
yeah, if I don't agree with somebody,
You
I
can't
don't
shut
get
it down,
offended
though.
by it.
You can't ban them. You can't shut it down.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that movement stuff is more about like it feels like I think for a lot of people, particularly if you're used to having the freedom to do that or to speak your mind or speak your point of view
Yeah.
in any circumstance, it feels like it might feel like you're being limited in a sense, but a lot of the time I think that's misinterpreted, and I think it's more about giving everybody the same opportunity to do that. Because I mean, you're
Right.
not. It's hard to understand the point of view of somebody who's not in the majority coming into that situation. So, you know, when we're all sitting in here, everyone here feels free to say whatever they want.
Yeah.
If you're coming into a situation where you don't share the same values and cultural background and stuff, the problem is if it's not a space where you feel like you're actually free to say what's on your mind or what you're feeling, a dynamic exists where that person's speech is being limited, and that's what's happening. So when you
That's
level that
unfortunate,
playing
yeah.
field,
Yeah.
I think that's what it's more about. Even though it might feel like, oh, now I feel like I can't say this or that.
As long as it's both ways, though.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
I agree with you, but it has to go both ways.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you will see that, like, there are liberal colleges and stuff that, like, you know, they say, like, yeah, we're for inclusion. We're for dynamic, you know, cultures, and everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
Until you fucking disagree with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you voted for Trump and you're a right wing guy and you like hunting and shooting guns and like these things that I don't agree with, well, then you're not welcome. You're not welcome to this party.
Everybody should be welcome.
Right.
man.
I'm not saying that happens
and I
all the
think
time,
I
but,
think
like,
there are
it's
ways that
gotta go both ways.
Right.
Like
yeah.
Neil admitting
and
that
people
he-
will behave
right.
they might have a very visceral reaction to that. I mean,
that's
even if
fine.
you're talking about Trump, like Trump has affected my life negatively.
Right.
You know, so like
Mine as
I'm
well.
upset about it, but definitely not upset about it in the same way that a person of color is going to be upset about it. Not in the same way that a woman's going to be upset about it, because their rights are literally being stripped, and
Yeah, not
you
figuratively.
are
Are
right
they being
now
stripped?
seeing it. Oh yeah.
How, like I don't. I'm not keeping up. Like, what
Oh
happened?
yeah, he's repealing a lot of laws around reproductive rights and
Yeah.
Like abortion,
things
like
like
that
that.
kind of thing.
that kind of thing. Yeah,
Hmm.
or
Interesting.
like coverage of certain procedures.
And just what for and even if you, I mean, just what, like what he stands for. I mean, someone
Yeah.
that you
Yeah,
know,
that
is
sucks.
the president shouldn't be.
Or
Yeah.
I mean, if
Anyway.
you, it's like it is a person who openly doesn't respect women in the most powerful position in the United States. That's going to feel a lot different to you and I than it feels to the women in our lives,
Right.
or you know.
Yeah, if my
women
wife
anywhere.
were in this room, that's what she would
Right.
for sure say.
I
And
know a
it-
lot of
and
women
so
who
that
feel the
it's-
opposite too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
I'm not well enough informed. I'm sure. I mean, there's got to be women and people of color out there that are feeling that way. There has to be.
Yeah, and I mean, and you've seen a massive uptick in hate crimes and resurgence of the KKK and things like that. Like my nephew's black and he goes to school in Lake Oswego,
It's like the
and they've had
Charlottesville
people writing slurs.
Ashley
on
works at PSU, and it happened almost immediately.
Do you think
So
it's directly
that is a
related to
much
Trump, or
different-
do you think they're just?
Well,
it just happens to be a coincidence.
It's not it is directly related. I
Yeah,
mean,
it happened
you
as soon
can
as he took office.
check mark
everything's
time it.
skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So what's their argument? Like, what?
Well,
do
I mean, look
what
what
do
happened with like Charlottesville. I mean, after some guy
I mean,
drives
hate crimes have
through-
always happened.
Well, hold on. So when someone drives through a herd of black people,
Uh,
like
Yeah, that sucks.
Protesters.
protesters rather, it's
That's happened
it
in the
sucks
past.
That like
Unfortunately, it shouldn't be happening.
my point, Neil, is that the president isn't going out there and saying like that's fucked up.
I see what
And,
you're
like,
saying.
He's
I see what
saying
you're
there,
saying.
are,
He
like his
instantly
response
defended
to that
them.
was
He's
there
like,
are a lot of fine
there were a
people
lot
on
of
this
bad people on this side today.
On both
And look,
sides.
that's true. Because I agree.
No, I see what
Antifa
you're
is a
saying. I see what you're
disaster.
saying.
I don't speak for them.
I see
Antifa
what
can
you're
go
saying.
suck a dick.
He's
Like,
not.
That's
so
not
b-
what I'm saying. What
he-
I'm saying is
he's
that
not speaking out against them. He's playing neutral.
what you do is you go up
Yes.
there. That's
Gotcha,
right. And
gotcha.
what the first thing you say is that's fucked up.
So that
Racial
I see what you're
crimes are
saying. I see
fucked
what you're
up.
saying. Yep.
And
okay.
then if you want to wax intellectual about it, do it later. But you don't
Gotcha.
do it the first thing you
I
say.
see what you're saying. I
Right?
got you. Okay.
That's the difference between a statesman and someone that is
Right.
reactionary and that's
Right.
emotional. And that's the thing that we're talking about. That's what
Gotcha.
sucks.
I understand. I got
Yeah, and so like when Steve was saying, like people who don't have that space to talk about it, they're progressively getting squeezed down where they can't talk at all. Let's move on.
Gotcha.
This shit's depressing.
yeah, dude. Yeah, this is why I should.
All right, what else you got, Drew? You got some more news? It's not
What
Trump
is that
related.
fucking statue?
Well, I guess on the topic of
Really?
allegations.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh
That's-
my God, I didn't know why. Okay, so Marilyn Manson splits with Twiggy Ramirez after rape allegations.
Really?
So Twiggy's being accused of rape?
Allegedly, yes.
What?
God damn it.
Interesting.
Allegedly.
Let's see.
So, it is allegedly, so I guess we'll find out, but you know that we all know someone that had sex with Jordy White, aka Twiggy Ramirez. Andrew, you know. We'll talk about it off air. Steve, you know too. Don't worry, she doesn't listen.
Well, I hope he's held accountable.
I hope
if,
he's held accountable too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or how about this to make it fair, Steve? Because we're talking about fairness. If he's being falsely accused, that's a disaster too.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I hope the man gets off.
I mean, yeah, if he's innocent.
He already got off. It sounds like.
Hang him.
Sound effect.
Do you remember the mattress girl thing? Do you ever hear about that?
mattress.
There's a girl. That's what the media called her. So a female at a college campus accused the guy of raping her. Turns out it never happened. He didn't at all. I mean, it was like proven, and they went to court. He like sued her for a bunch of money.
I was like Rolling Stone that came out with
Yep.
like a super early.
Yeah. So that's right. Rolling Stone magazine took the story before it was. They did any research on it, like, oh, that sounds great, rape allegation, and they put her on like
Yeah, you
did
gotta
an article.
double-check every.
She did like a protest where she walked around the school with a mattress on her back. That's why they call her
Yeah.
Mattress Girl.
It caught traction.
When
but
she
caught
was
a lot of-
never
based on
sexually
a lot of-
abused at all.
Not at all.
So why'd she do it?
I don't
attention?
know. People are weird. Who knows? There's a lot of fucking mental health shit out there. Why do
she's
people
probably
go in
a
mass
dumb
shootings?
broad.
I don't know. She's a dumb broad. And so she went around ruining this guy's life. So anyway, it does happen, but that's pretty fucking rare. Most of the time, these assholes have done something horrible.
So let me get this straight. Marilyn Manson was raped or was doing the
So
raping?
it says Twiggy Ramirez is being accused by
Welcome to the
Jack
party.
Off Jill's singer?
He's probably not coming on the show after this. That's for sure.
No,
Yeah, I don't
clearly
think
clearly
so.
not going to be a guest.
I don't think it was anyone.
Uh,
Yeah, so what is it that Twiggy got accused of rape, right? Just to get it right?
Yeah, I think it said the singer. What was her name? But it was
Of Jack Off Jill.
of Jack Off Jill.
That's a band?
Yeah, 90s
okay.
band. God, what was the song they had?
Go back up a little
Anyway,
bit, buddy.
now I'm just more confused. So what?
Right, you should be. You definitely should be. Jessica Adams, singer of the band Jack Off Jill, accused him of rape and abuse in October 20th.
Accused Marilyn Manson.
No, accused Twiggy Ramirez.
Jesus,
Oh.
Neil.
I'm
Adams
reading
detailed-
one thing. I'm hearing another thing.
So it says Adams detailed what she claims was a tumultuous relationship with White. It's Twiggy, which began
Jordy
in
White
early
is his woman.
90s.
Wow.
She was 18 at the time, so.
Adams claimed that White, that's Twiggy Ramirez, Jordy White, raped her when he returned home on a break from tour while Manson was opening for Nine Inch Nails. Quote, I knew at the point that Jordy had not been faithful on tour, including being with women whom I, to this day, respect and consider my musical contemporaries. But she goes on to say, all this led to an argument I never saw coming. He forced me to the floor with his hand around my neck. I said no. I said no. I said it so loud enough that
Adam's roommate.
Adam's roommate, Pete, came rushing in from the other room to get him off of me, but I had been raped. I had been raped by somebody that I thought I loved. Jesus Christ.
Gnarly.
That sucks.
Yeah, and that's like what we were talking about earlier, Steve, like the culture of rock bands and the culture of like thinking you're powerful and that you deserve to be able to do that. Like, hey, I'm in this fucking band, so like,
But really,
yeah, would suck this dick already. Like,
no, but really, every single person on this earth is nothing.
that's right.
None of us are shit.
Trump is shit. No
No,
one's nothing.
nobody fucking
Harvey
matters,
Weinstein's
man.
nothing.
Nobody matters. We're all gonna die. The Earth's gonna explode.
But
And
that's
the
the
universe
problem.
will
Is
go on.
like, unfortunately, some people do have more power, and some people can
Yeah.
open doors for people. Harvey Weinstein's like, you want to star in this Quentin Tarantino movie?
Suck the dick,
Suck this dick.
right?
Suck this old.
It's
girl's
fucked up.
juice dick.
So stupid, so dumb.
Yep. And that guy is real disgusting, by the way.
There's a
Well, I
lot of
think-
people. There's a lot of dudes out there too that just think like when they get into a position of power and they have this head about them, it's like, oh, she's saying no, but she wants it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that do
Right.
that too, which is really
Right.
dumb.
She likes it rough.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
fuck?
It's like,
What is that statue?
Well, I
of?
think there's a real opportunity now that this stuff is kind of coming to light and becoming more of a part of our culture where people are being held accountable, or we can. It's a learning opportunity and an opportunity to teach our children, you know, that this is not the way to behave. It's
Right.
not something to look up to. But
I mean,
it's going to
honestly,
be
that's the only way
it's
to
going to
change it.
be a very
Yeah, it really
has
is.
to be a
That is
very
changing, yeah.
purposeful effort. You have to think about that, you know, as you're raising our young men and young women.
yep.
Yeah,
It's
clearly-
something that
takes
needs to
work.
be addressed, and it's really not a lot of the
Well,
time.
clearly,
you know.
clearly, the
You don't
ways
think at
of
all?
past generations
You don't
have
think it's getting
not.
It's starting to happen.
It's not. It's starting. It's starting to happen.
Yeah. Like from my
But no. But
grandpa's
I think there's
generation.
so much discomfort around discussing issues regarding sex and sexuality that we're not getting it until it's too late. Essentially, you know, a lot of that stuff, you know, that there are formative years where you develop your sense of sexuality and what it means to be close to another person, or, you know, emotionally fulfilled and, you know, and sexually fulfilled, and what that means for your relationship with someone else. And particularly in the age of the internet, if you're not getting the message early and often, you know, it's not going to take hold. And
Well, I
then-
think
then
that's
you're
what the
kinda
silver lining
reinforcing
is
it.
now, because people like you and I were waking up because we're seeing it all. All these people are getting exposed. Our parents, I bet, never thought in a million years this is something they would have to tell us, because
Oh, yeah.
this is supposedly common sense, human nature. Trust, you know, treat people the way you want to be
Right.
treated.
Yeah.
But because it is becoming so prevalent, it's the silver lining, because now, like, you know, you guys are teaching your kids, you're going out of your way to make sure that they know this.
Right.
Yep.
And so, you know, it's unfortunate that it happened once, but now it's happening so often that it's there's going to be a culture shift, I feel
Yeah.
like. That's the silver lining.
And
in all
yeah,
this.
I mean, yeah, it's time for it, and I think that there is kind of a what is often described as like kind of a toxic masculinity thing, to, you know, like where you incorporate that into your sense of self and your sense of manhood, what it means to interact with women. And
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with being masculine. I don't think there's anything wrong with being
No.
right. No, but I'm just reiterating, like, because that does happen. Now it's going a little too far. It's like now it's not bad to be a man. It's not bad to be male, right? It's not
Right.
bad to even be masculine at all. But
People are just misunderstanding what that means.
that's right, and that's what Steve, I think, is what you're saying. It's
yeah,
like
you
that,
just redefine what it
redefine what it means.
And really, and that's what I mean when I talk about how it's embarrassing to engage in that way, because it is. It's embarrassing.
It is
like if
embarrassing.
you're gonna be a man, be a fucking man.
a man.
Be somebody that
Right.
you know your child can look up to. You know, be somebody that is protecting the agency of others. You know, their ability to
that's
make
right.
willful choices. You know, like if you're gonna engage in a culture that removes that from, that's not being a man.
Dude, that's right. Do you remember I think it's off the latest Portlandia season, where it's the song. So it's Fred Armisen and Carrie. They play these two characters that are men rights activists. Have you seen this one?
The Meninists?
Yeah, they're like, what about men? What about men? And like everything is just like how the man now needs help. It's so fucking good.
Oh,
I haven't seen it.
It's
But
so good.
I want to.
I love it. It's so good. Dude, you'd love it. It's fucking hilarious. What else you got, Drew? Got anything else?
That's it.
Okay, I got a couple. We can keep going here. But oh god, this is a little local news. You guys see the video of the Portland food truck explosion?
No.
Heard about this happen?
Wait, I heard a little bit about it. I heard a Honda Element was in the mix and it melted to the ground and all the other cars were fine.
It turned back into an Element.
Well,
It?
you could tell they were cars, but the Element like melted.
I didn't hear that one.
Which is a bummer because I want an Element because I have children. And so the idea of being able to just hose your fucking car out sounds great.
Get a Toyota FJ. Man.
There's no
Does the same
carpet.
thing.
It's all like whatever.
Toyota
rubber
FJ.
and shit.
Bigger?
Yeah, look at that
It's a
shit.
Toyota. What the?
Where's that at?
Where's
Downtown. One of the food cart pods.
That's
So a food
straight up
cart
parking lot.
Did
though.
they say what happened?
Exploded and then caught a bunch of fucking cars on fire.
Does it show the aftermath? Because I want to see if we can find the Element.
I don't know if it already happened, Drew, but there's
The
like a
element
huge
puddle?
explosion at one point. Like, this must be after
Is
the
this
fire
in
just
Chinatown
started.
by chance?
No.
Greek Gods
Okay.
Euros, downtown Portland. Where?
Or actually, Neil, I don't know. It looks like
What is that?
the south side of downtown.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, I thought that was interesting. You all heard
Interesting.
about that one.
Wild.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, how does a food truck explode? I mean,
That's
I
my
assume
question.
it's
I
like
wonder if it was like
gas grills, but like
Yeah, what if like they had a fryer caught on fire and then it set off like whatever their gas grill is fueled off of and that exploded.
Well,
guess
as you
that
guys
was
know, I did
Boom! There it is.
firefighting stuff for a few years, and
You did.
one of the most common causes of fires is kitchen-related stuff. So that could be it.
Or the perfect cover.
Drew, this is. Oh, look at that!
Right?
Holy
Boom!
shit.
Yeah,
Look
that's
at
what I
that.
said. Yeah,
Go back. Oh,
that's a good.
All right, I'm going to describe this to you, listeners at
Yeah.
home.
dude.
An auditory world.
There's some fire.
Now the Honda
And
Element
there's a lot of
exploded.
fire.
The fire's bigger.
And then the fire
then-
got smaller.
Then it recesses back into itself.
What color is the fire?
There goes
My
that
God.
Subaru.
Sometimes words paint a brighter picture.
Yeah, use your imagination. We should have a segment of the podcast where we call into Steve and he describes something.
There you go.
I'm
Steve's
down.
description
I feel
hour.
like I'm a real wordsmith.
Descriptions with Steve. Dun, 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 dun. Drew, this is a good one to pull up. The Gordon Hayward ankle break video.
Oh God! Fuck
Do
you,
it.
James.
You gotta do
Fuck
it.
you.
We gotta
Wait,
do
You're
is
the
it.
one that
it-
made me see
I'm not
that
gonna
shit.
watch it.
Fuck you.
I'm leaving.
Dude, you gotta see the
God.
shit, Neil. Sit
I
your
was
ass
avoiding
down.
it and avoiding it, and
Be
you
a man.
made me
Sit
see
down.
it
If this
the
is
other
what I
day.
think it is, the shit literally makes me pass out.
It's
I can't watch
Dude,
it.
it's rough.
I can't watch it.
dude.
It's rough.
It's bad.
Is
yeah.
it actually a thing?
Actually, I say put your money where your mouth is and literally pass out
broken.
right now.
Oh! Oh God!
Like everyone runs away too. They're like, ah!
Oh! Ouch! God, that's hard to watch.
Although, speaking of masculinity, I feel like he should just pop it back in.
Right?
Be a man, Hayward. Dude.
The other player's
Look
like,
at everyone's
nope,
reaction too.
No,
They just fucking peace out. Like, nope, 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 nope.
not watching that.
Watch this
That was his
shit.
first game, right?
Yeah, like one or two.
Yeah. Duh!
God, is
For those of you at home,
Yeah, go ahead, Steve. Take
The
away, Steve.
wordsmith.
Descriptions.
dude.
a
No
man
more.
in a
Okay,
green
good.
suit pops up toward the basket, comes crashing down amongst a gaggle of other men.
It's alright. He's still rich.
And
A little off center on the ankle, snaps it. And there's a close up. It's real.
It's at a
real.
right angle.
that was Descriptions with Steve.
I've never broken a bone.
What do you got on the clock there, Drew?
You've
Interesting fact.
you never live, man. It's
Okay.
right here.
About 2 hours.
It's broken.
All right,
was.
well, let's do a couple more. We'll wrap this bitch up. Oh shit!
Are you gonna need me to describe this?
Yes.
This one is a good description one for you.
I don't
Steve.
care what it is. I want him
Drew?
to describe it.
Type in Sammy Sosa white.
What?
That's all you have to type in. You
On
guys know who Sammy Sosa is, a baseball player from the.
Of course
Okay.
I know who Sammy Sosa.
So it's just like Michael Jackson. He was once a black guy
Oh, I saw this.
and is now a white guy.
Wait, what?
Yes. Yes.
Does he have that skin disease
Ye-
thing?
No, he
No,
like
he did-
bleached his
Yeah,
skin.
he did the pigment change.
And he keeps going around like, "What? I was just putting on some cream every night." And it's like, dude,
He bleached
Has he
it.
done an
for
interview?
sure not a black guy anymore.
Has he said why he's done this?
Is there an ad? Oh. So I don't know. Pictures might be better here, Drew.
Steve?
Steve descriptions?
Yeah,
Steve?
just type in it on Google and go to images. But it's fucked. Like, yeah, I mean, what is that? That's what Michael Jackson. Look at that one. Look at the difference.
Yeah, I saw that a while ago.
Even the eyes.
Wait, he did his eyes too.
Jesus.
Why?
No, I mean
What
it's a
is
shame
that?
that
He
he.
wants to make more money.
It's a
Is it
bummer.
that or is he?
It's like, I've seen what white people are getting, and I want a piece of that.
No, I mean,
I
Dude,
guess his eyes are
what
kinda
drives a
lighting it up.
person to do that?
it's terrifying,
to
right?
themselves?
That one, he looks like the devil. Okay, Steve, take it away. Descriptions with Steve.
I think it's a sad commentary on the state of the nation again. I feel like this is not funny though. It's sad. I mean, I feel like this is something that
This
there's
is dark.
it
is dark,
highlights the discrepancy in opportunity, and it's
Yeah, that was my
real-
question. Like,
it's
I mean, is this?
sad.
Did he really feel that he needed to do this, or like, why do people feel the need to change the color of their skin?
I mean, if we're sitting around asking
Yeah.
why someone would do that, because we can't wrap our heads around, I think the answer is pretty clear.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I think
It's the Louis C.K. bit. He's like, I'm not saying white people are better. I'm just saying that being white is clearly better.
He's one of the most. Isn't he in the Hall of Fame?
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, Sammy
It's
Sosa, yeah.
so good.
Yeah, so he's in the Hall of Fame. He's considered one of the great players of baseball. He
Yeah.
was in. Didn't he like win
Yeah,
or break
I mean,
the home
look,
run record?
Steve's making a good general point. I mean, that's
No, I get the
that
general
is-
point, but
right,
why
but
would he feel like that?
Well, who
still?
knows why Sammy Sosa, the individual, did it? He could just be fucking bonkers. Maybe he's just a weirdo. I don't know. He put on.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand Steve's statement, but
Drew, can you
Yeah.
find any like?
he's better than
article on
most
it?
white people. Like, like-
Yeah, I wonder if there's an
textual
explanation
stuff?
why he did it. Honestly,
yeah, that's why. Is he done an interview or anything?
So he does say something about putting on a cream. I remember hearing that. I think a different podcast talked about this or something. Yeah.
I mean, and that would go into like beauty standards and everything else.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
I mean, I think it's sad that we live in a world where somebody thinks,
Yeah, I
you know,
agree.
that
they
is
need to do
that's
that
necessary.
to feel fulfilled or be a part of.
Yeah. Okay. So he's
Society.
like, Sosa addressed the matter during a TV appearance, explaining at the time that his lighter complexion was a result of a skin bleaching cream.
So he did it on purpose.
Yeah, he did do it for purpose. Well, I mean,
That's all he said.
I got a bleaching cream that I apply before going to bed and whitens my skin tone, Sosa said during an appearance on Univision's Primer Impacto show in 2009. It's a cream that I have that I use to soften my skin, but has bleached me some. I'm not
know
a
what's really-
racist. Hold on, I'm not a racist. I live my life happily.
but
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is
But,
he saying like I'm
I
not
mean,
a
it's-
racist against my own blackness and I want to?
It could be like body dysmorphia too.
That's
That could be
yeah,
too,
that's
yeah.
mental healthy kind of fucked
Yeah,
up shit.
it's just-
Yeah.
fucked up that a person has to feel that way to go to.
Well, a
that
lot of women
extent.
do that.
Yeah,
A lot of
It-
white-
I was
a
just
lot of
gonna
white
say,
women
yeah,
will do
with
that.
the body dysmorphia.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, I think it's
But then
Either way,
it's a sad
Either way, it's
commentary
sad.
on our culture because it's pretty clear, you know,
He's a good-looking dude.
he
before.
looks better, yeah. Before.
No,
Yes.
before. Steve's like, it's really sad, and the thing is, it actually worked out. And so, like,
It ain't white, it ain't right.
whoa,
Jesus Christ.
whoa.
I just watched American History X recently. Rough movie. Rough movie. If you guys haven't watched it,
I've seen that one.
Ooh.
You know what you should do, James?
You see this? Not welcome.
Fuck.
He shows a swastika.
You should text Nick and Sean talking about this.
So they are excited to be on the show.
No, just as a relationship builder.
Oh, from baseball?
Yeah,
because they love
Because
baseball.
I
right.
guarantee you they have
An
opinions.
opinion on it.
Yeah.
I thought they were skin bleachers.
Here's that "What About Men" video.
Christ.
Just speaking out about sexual assault. What I hate about it is that none of it's about us. None of these movements are about us. Where's our movement? You know what I mean? I'm telling you, that's why I need safe spaces too. The only place I feel safe expressing myself is on social media. You know, under a pseudonym. Dr. Man. That's the name I use.
Under a
Dr.
pseudonym.
Man.
Space is Reddit. You're on Reddit? Yeah, me too. Yeah, the internet is like my room of one's own. Yeah, I mean, in some ways it kind of feels like we're a minority all of a sudden. What about me? What about me? Don't forget to regret. What about me?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend watching the whole thing. What about man?
You guys all know
What
that she
about
was or
man?
is in a band, right?
Yeah, Sleater
Yeah.
Kinney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, side note.
Nope,
anyway,
it's all good.
we're talking about men
Um,
decided to,
Okay, a couple more real quick.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
God, did you hear that JFK tapes to be released? Did y'all hear about that?
No.
Oh.
regarding
And Trump is like claiming the responsibility for it, but
Of course
apparently
he
it was
is.
going to happen anyway. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna release these. And they're like, hold on, that was gonna happen anyway.
What tape?
Like the truth about it or something.
about what?
Like how he was
Possible
really
cover-up
the possible
or
cover up
CIA.
stuff.
Oh, the
yeah.
assassination thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, I'd be
Interesting.
curious.
yeah. I thought you liked that, Neil.
My mom
You
is
like
a
that
huge
shit.
Kennedy, like,
Yeah.
history.
Oh,
Whoa.
that
I
was
was gonna
cool.
say, is that
Whoa.
the tape?
That's the tape.
Trump deferred draft 5 times in the past. That's another good Trump thing, just so everyone knows.
I mean,
Just worth noting.
I'd
He's a great
defer if I could.
We doing seeing any good movies? Have you seen Blade Runner yet?
I haven't.
Really
no.
good. Highly
It's awesome.
recommend.
Last movie I
it.
saw was with you.
Which one was that?
The porno.
What did we go see? It. We went and saw the new.
Oh
It.
yeah, that's right. It is fucking
It
rad.
is.
Did you see that yet, Steve?
past
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
we just-
yeah.
I
Watch more
feel like
movies
I
for
haven't
Halloween.
seen anything. I've seen
I highly recommend it. Soundtrack kicks ass too.
Yeah.
I've seen all the seasons of The Office like 50 times.
I
Same
just
here.
dude, I just
Always.
finished it again. I
Always.
literally
Now that
just
you've
I was like,
actually
really
watched it that many
again,
times,
James?
but it's been in the
Rewatchability is
background that many
insane.
times.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so
Yeah.
good. It's too good. It's too funny. The Steve Carell seasons particularly are just
Oh,
so crazy. Stranger Things. Have you guys watched that?
Oh, actually, I did watch
new-
that.
the new
That's
season.
great.
It
I haven't
comes
seen the
out
new
like
season.
2
coming
days
out.
from now.
Yeah,
or
the
something.
Yeah,
soundtrack
okay.
just came out like last Friday. It's
Did it?
pretty awesome.
Did you hear the story about
Can
that
I
soundtrack?
can I edit that because I said I hadn't seen the new season, and that's because it's not
Because
out
it's not
yet.
out. You,
Yeah.
we got you covered.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, like it was a couple guys that were just like,
Fucking synth
just-
nerds, probably.
yeah, just dudes. And anyway, the point being, they landed this cool gig to do the soundtrack, and now they're making money. And it's like
Well
the
deserved.
story you always want to hear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were just bros that had day jobs.
Making music for fun.
It's such a good soundtrack too. The score is awesome.
Let's hope they weren't sexually abused.
No kidding. Well, all right, let's wrap this thing up on a good note.
They actually wrote death.
Thank you,
that
dude.
for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Uh,
bed that eats.
the bed that eats. Well, this took a weird political turn.
I did.
It got a little dark. I didn't expect that with you two goofballs,
I shut the fuck up sometimes.
but sometimes that happens, and it's good to talk about it, right?
It is.
I
Yeah.
I had
think
a
it is.
blast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we ultimately all agree. We just do it in different ways.
yeah. We all want
Yeah.
Live and let live, man.
more or less the
Yep.
same things.
Live and let live.
You have a
We're all
bro
just
ship
a bunch
tattoo.
of. We're all just a
Oh,
bunch
yeah.
of
notice
goddamn animals.
Right.
We're- bring it
see?
back.
See how I tied it together?
There you go.
Where can they find the band, Steve? Do you know your own
Northeast
band?
Portland.
Yes,
God
we are in Northeast Portland. Yes.
Pull up their Instagram.
If you're
Drew.
brave, if you're brave.
What are the?
At I don't know.
At goddamn
on
animals.
Facebook.
We're on
and
Facebook
Spotify.
and Instagram.
If you search
We're on Spotify.
Goddamn Animals Band on YouTube.
Pretty much, yeah. We got Bandcamp,
Okay.
everything. Everything's available online.
And it's
Stream
goddamned
us,
animals.
you know,
'Cause he
steal
did.
it.
Isn't that what I
Just
said?
listen to it. That's all we really want. Just listen to it.
Yeah.
If you
And
hate it,
if you got a couple
show it
bucks,
to
go,
your friends
go
and
buy the
show
vinyl.
how
The
much
vinyl's
you
really
hate it.
cool. The artwork is really cool.
Hand deliver your hate mail to Northeast Portland.
Yes, the general location. Yeah, it's
all your
goddamn animals at
Trump-loving mail.
bandcamp.com, Facebook.
Love it.
.com/goddamn animals.
Love it.
Oh, one last note. I live in a house, and sometimes everyone else is gone, and I'm there by myself, and I'm not scared. What up, Stefan?
I have that same thing.
I also live in a house, and I'm not scared at all. What do you think about that, Steve?
I think that's reasonable.
I think it's reasonable to not be scared. I'm gonna eat a Snickers on air.
You should.
We're tying it back into masculinity.
No, for sure. For sure, don't be scared in your own house, Stephen.
I mean, there's locks on the doors. I mean,
Well, let's wrap this thing up and get the hell out of here.
Ooh, maybe next week.
Andrew, do you
we
want
all
us just
spend
to
the
wrap it
night
up and say
in this house
Alright.
by ourselves to show Stefan there's nothing to be
one at
afraid
a
of.
time.
Yeah.
One night at a time.
All right, dudes. Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'll do it again. That was
Alright.
fun. And you can find me at James Ian Macmillan for personal, and for Stateside Management at Stateside MGMT. You can find Neil,
At Neilio Engo, NEILIOENGLE.
and you can find Andrew at Don't Mind If I Drew. Andrew posts a lot of stuff about the podcast. And we love you. Loves and kisses. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Who's gonna hit stop? Hey.
Like I'm on the wire.